clogged now. Preparing, setting up your webinar. Someone's blowing up my phone. Oh no, my nose is clogged now. Oh, that's a great way to start the show. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. This is Doc Skinner with 1028 Live. Let me mute the live stream real quick. Got a really cool show going on tonight, and let me just do this real quick. Let me share this with Facebook so people on Facebook can join us tonight. Well, let me do it. There we go. And post. Excellent. So if you're new to the channel, hello, welcome to the mountain, as I would say to everybody up here. And please be sure to hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you can be notified of all the live shows we got coming up. And let me tell you, I got a great shows coming up. We got a great one tonight. We tried to do it last week, but we had some technical issues. Mercury in retrograde, of course. So let me get out of this and make sure we got this. So if you'd like to join in the show tonight, just join in the chat window over in the YouTube live stream chat, and I will do my best to catch the questions and pass them along to Brad, who is our guest tonight. Brad Olsen is in my opinion, the real Indiana Jones. This guy goes around and he explores the whole planet. I mean, he's just, the stuff he does, the footage he brings back is amazing. And we're going to be talking about his trips as well as his new book, Beyond Esoteric. I hope I said that right. So anyway, real quick, we're going to pay the bills. I'm real nervous because this is Brad Olsen. And if you know who this is, you know why I'm a little nervous. But tonight's show, of course, is brought to you by Psionics. If you don't know about Psionics, let me tell you a little bit about them. Psionics, you can go to psionics.com. That's SIONYX.com. And you can check out the live footage from this amazing little piece of equipment that's almost military grade. This is the first ever full color night vision camera. And it records up to 32 gigs on an SD card in 720. 30 to 60 frames. You can even go up to, I think it's like 5 frames per second if you want to do it like that. It is probably the coolest piece of equipment in my arsenal I've ever had. The stuff that I've caught with this night vision is awesome. I've caught a herd of elk walk past my driveway. Scared the heck out of me, but I got that. UFOs I've caught, things shooting across the sky. And the beautiful thing is if you're into this, astronomy and sky watching, this is definitely something you want to get, because this bad boy, when you look at the stars, you're seeing, and don't quote me on this, but this is my theory, is that it's got to be the light spectrums or the gases, because all the stars, all the planets, and the ones you don't normally see, because they're multiple colors, and it's beautiful. It's like Christmas lights. And then when you see something fly by, it's even cooler. So, and you can record all this, but the best thing about it is it's not just for night vision. It has a setting here to where you can change it from day, twilight, or night. So you can use this, filming, your kid's football game or whatever. Security officers can use this if they're looking for something in the shadows. They won't be able to hide. This little bad boy right here, most people would say would probably run $1,000 to $3,000, because you can mount it to a tripod, or you can get the Explorer kit, which is a little bit more, that you can mount to a rifle if you want. And this bad boy, this is the Aurora Sport, goes for $399. That's $399 right now. If you go to psionics.com, and if you go through the checkout, by your shopping cart, there'll be a discount code, and all you do is you put in DOC1028, DOC1028, and you will get a discount on this little bad boy. They have the upgrade, which is the Aurora, which is black with a forest green trim. Its little additives are digital GPS and digital compass, so you know where you're at and which direction you're pointing in, and it records it to the video, so you can use it in case you need it for a court case or whatever. It's good for that. And then you have the Aurora Explorer kit, which comes in a Pelican case with an IR infrared flashlight. Most infrareds, they still shine a light that someone can see if you're pointing at it, out in a field, whatever, because they're around 870 nanometers. I think it's called a nanometer. Whereas this, or the IR flashlight that comes with the Explorer, goes up to, it was 930 nanometers, which means it's basically invisible unless you look through this, and then you'll see like a whole field's lit up. This bad boy is awesome for Christmas. I know every man with a boy inside, he's just like a little kid. This is what you want, because when you look at the stars, you'll normally see, let's just say 50 to 60. With this, you're going to see thousands of them. You're going to see deeper into space. It doesn't have a zoom or anything. It's a straight fixed lens, but this is a bad boy. Go to their website, check out their videos, get one today. Use product or coupon code DOC1028 to get your discount. All right, now other things going on. I will save. DisclosureCon is set up for next year. Go to disclosurecon.com. You can check out the schedule. We have 2 surprise guest slots that I'm just not mentioning yet, but I'm pretty excited about them. And this year's theme is the Travis Walton event. 45 years. It's been 45 years since it's happened. And normally you'll get a couple of, for a while it was just Travis. The other guys, they didn't want to talk much. But now we're going to do our best. We're going to have every member of the surviving members of that event together in one room. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to be watching the Travis Walton story, which is the documentary on him. And then we're going to be doing Q&As, VIP, events and stuff, the fireside chat where you get to ask questions and hang out. It's awesome. My next guest was at DisclosureCon this year, and he was just amazing. And we were supposed to have him on before, but the day that he was scheduled, he was actually driving to DisclosureCon. So without any further ado, I would like to say welcome to our guest, Brad Olsen. Brad, how are you doing?
Hey, Doc. I'm going through some trying times right now with this Mercury retrograde, but glad it's going to be over at midnight tomorrow, and nice to finally get it worked out with you. Last week, again, technical snafu, missed that opportunity, and a lot going on in the world today and a lot going on in our people's lives. I know we were talking in the show just beforehand that things are happening to a lot of people. Things are breaking on people, emotions, communication's hard, blah, blah, blah. But otherwise, life is good. I feel fine, and really happy to get this opportunity to talk to you again after your wonderful event, DisclosureCon. And anybody out there, 11 months now, it's going to come up quick, but it's a great event. And on the way back from DisclosureCon, I found the Travis Walton payphone, and we took some pictures at it in the town of Heber, Arizona, which is near where he was abducted. So that's really cool that you're honoring him in this way. And I've met him a few times, and I really like him, and he's a great guy. In fact, I was in line with him at Contact in the Desert. We were getting food, and I said to Travis Walton, we had a few minutes to talk to each other. I says, how does it feel to be finally vindicated? Because he's taken a lot of arrows for his testimony, and he says it feels great. And this is what we've all been waiting for, is this larger acknowledgement of disclosure is upon us. And I commend you for doing DisclosureCon and helping to promote that narrative and get this information out to the hungry masses that are very interested in this subject matter.
Yeah. Well, what was funny is when I was driving some of the speakers back to the airport down the mountain, we were going through Heber Overguard, and one of the passengers said, "Yeah, Brad just posted. He was at the phone booth. It's somewhere around here." I was like, "I've driven this road. I've never seen it. I don't know where it's at." Well, just as she says that, we come around the bend, and something tells me look to the left, and I look to the left. They go, "There it is." Almost caused a wreck. Let's pull it up into that little parking lot so we could get a photo with it, because that's the first time I've seen it. Yeah. And so, as you remember, at DisclosureCon, it's just not speakers. We have a variety of people there, and we got YouTubers there, and we try to make it fun by having these sets that we build. And one of them is the Millennium Falcon. We had the Headless Shelf. We had the alien coming through the portal, and then we had the apartment building where it looks like you were, crawling up the side of a building like, Batman.
Got many pictures there myself.
Yeah. So, and I didn't. I don't think I got one picture of me on that thing. I got to do it next year. But this year, for this one, I want to replicate, because we can't you can't grab them. I mean, it's like a monument, mounted to the ground with the big aliens and stuff. So I want to do a replication of the phone booths so people can get their photo right there. So that's what we're gonna talk to Home Depot about and see if we can get that built this year. So
Nice.
that'll be cool. Eventually, I'm gonna have to get a warehouse, and it's gonna be like a little wax museum with all these sets and stuff. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and love to have you there because I know you got some books. Speaking of, you have
Yep.
Beyond Esoteric. Let's talk about that before we get into Antarctica and everything, because that would kind of lay down some foundation, wouldn't it, of why you went?
It would indeed. And if I can give just a little more background, how I started in as a travel writer first, starting in the 1990s when I started CCC Publishing. My first book, World Stompers, came out. It's still in print. It's the 5th edition. Then I did these Sacred Places guides. I started publishing other authors through CCC Publishing in print. And then travel went through a metamorphosis. I should say travel publishing in the book form, because there was the advent of the internet right around Y2K, and it made the whole world very accessible. And in a way, it started making travel books obsolete. I don't know if you've been to a Barnes and Noble lately, but their travel aisle went from several aisles to maybe a fraction of one aisle now. It's really shrunk, and that's because people can get their information for free on the internet. And if people have that ability, they're going to do it. Well, I had published a book by Lon Milo Duquette back in the mid 2000s called Key to Solomon's Key, and it did very well, and it was an esoteric subject. And this is what I call the subjects that have been withheld from humanity are esoteric in the sense that they are only known to a select few. That's the meaning of the term esoteric. When it becomes known to everybody, the term actually changes to exoteric. So I include what I think is one of the most incredible esoteric subjects, and that is related to aliens and ET. So I came out with the book 2 in the esoteric series called Future Esoteric, The Unseen Realms, was the first book out because I had most of that material complete. And that has all the ET information and craft specs and the secret state, but also looking forward into the future with the Utopia section in the end. Modern Esoteric came out right on the heels of that. I mean, bam, bam, 2 years, 2 books. It was a Herculean effort to do that. And now both are actually audiobooks as well and doing quite well. And Modern Esoteric, both of them are in second editions. All the while, Doc, and I'm getting to Beyond Esoteric, I've been working on the third and final installation in the series. And I have been collecting information, going to conferences, as you know, speaking to other speakers, and I never repeat my information. So the third and final book is called Beyond Esoteric, Escaping Prison Planet. I've just changed the subtitle. And it is basically how humans are trapped on this planet and solutions to break us free and what's going on. So I'm working on this book fervently because I want to get it out for fall 2020. The whole series started in 2012, and now the other bookend will be 2020. And this has been a very monumental period for humanity, as you know. A lot has changed in even the last 8 years. And you know what? We're only about 45 days away from the new decade. We're going to be out of the teens and into the roaring 20s. And with all that's going on in the world today, it is a very interesting time to be alive. But it is also the great unveiling. It is the great revealing of many of these subjects. And I feel very honored and privileged to be in the position I'm in, to be an author and a publisher, to work on these projects, also with Leo Lion-Zagami, 5 books, and his Confessions of an Illuminati series, and Invisible Master and Last Pope. So working with several of these other authors and having the honor and privilege, as I said, to present this material, which I do at conferences now, including Disclosure Con, of course, and UFO MegaCon and Contact in the Desert next year. I'm already signed the contract for. So I'm going to some big ones and even starting to headline larger events too. So it's a really great opportunity to meet people, tell them about my books and my work. And just recently, as you mentioned, I've come back from 4 months in South America, including about a month in Antarctica, which is what I'm still presenting on until Beyond Esoteric comes out at the end of next year.
Very nice. Very nice. And what, so Contact in the Desert, that's in 2020?
That'll be at the end of May in 2020, and UFO MegaCon middle September, middle February, Laughlin, Nevada. And
Excellent.
it'll be Jordan Maxwell's final talk. And I'm there with Johnny Enoch and Leo Lyons-Agami. And I think with myself and Jordan Maxwell, we're going to be on a panel for esoteric subjects too, for Jordan Maxwell's final appearance on a public stage. So that too is a great honor. And I've gotten to know Jordan Maxwell over the years, and he and I are good friends and confidants. And I occasionally reach out to him to get clarification on subjects. So it's a historic time we live in. And the little bits that you and I do to contribute to the whole, I think is the most meaningful work we can endeavor to do. Maybe it doesn't pay as great as writing code and selling stock options, but for a tech company, but it's rewarding the fact that we have these connections and we're looking at the world through a different lens. In the way I describe it, like through an esoteric lens. And to understand these subjects is really to understand the entire human experience and in many ways the predicament that we're in right now. And these are subjects that I endeavor in my next book, the third and final in the esoteric series, called Beyond Esoteric, Escaping Prison Planet.
Now, somebody's watching, where can they get this book?
Well, it's not available yet. We're not even done with the cover. It's still going to be announced as a fall 2020 title. I'm more than halfway done shaping the chapters and the captions and the images, and then they're going to go to an editor. I'm working with my designer on the cover. That should be done by the end of the year, and then I'll be announcing the title, and it'll come up on Amazon and through my distributor, Independent Publishers Group, which is a wonderful book distribution company that I've been with since the mid 90s when I got started with CCC Publishing. And I would have been out of book publishing a long time ago without IPG. So they're great partners in helping me promote, distribute, sell my latest releases. And now I am going to actively start looking for other authors too. But don't get your hopes up too quick. It'll have to be after Beyond Esoteric comes out, but in the 2021 timeframe next decade, I will be looking at some new titles as well.
And do you have other books that you have done in the past?
Well, I have written 9 books myself. Beyond Esoteric will be 10.
So where can people
7,
find
though,
those?
were in travel, and this will be the 3rd in the esoteric suit. But I've published over a dozen other books of other authors.
And
the ones that I find do the best are these esoteric subjects, because they are not information that you can readily get from the internet, that people are still willing to pay for content if you're giving them something that they can't get for free.
Mm-hmm. So Amazon or a website?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where would people go that are watching?
Yeah, bradolsen.com, cccpublishing.com if you want to see all the books. Or, yeah, Brad Olsen on Amazon. You'll see all my books come up, and some others that I've been involved with as an editor.
Fantastic. So let's talk about your trip. So you wrote this book. Well, you took the trip first, or did you plan on writing the book after or before you took this trip?
All together in one.
So you wrote the book along the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you as a video editor, we're working together on putting together the South America and the Antarctica content. I may be seeing you in a couple of weeks working in your studio.
Yeah. Have you come up to the mountain again?
I can't wait, man. I love Pine Top. It's such a cool area.
Yeah. It's just going to be really good having you like narrating it in the studio. And
I think we're
going to do this right.
Nice polish on all that material. So we went there with the sole express purpose of finding out about these mysteries. A lot of these mysteries we've heard about Antarctica, and we can get into that. as well as exploring the megaliths of Peru and Bolivia, which I was at 1 year ago right now with the Resonance Academy on a tour with 150 delegates and Nassim Harriman and Brian Forrester. And going to all these sites like 3 or 4 a day and just with experts and redefining what all these monuments mean and how they were built and new discoveries. And that's in my Mysteries of South America talk. But it wasn't until middle January and about till middle February earlier this year that I got on a sailboat with Emily Infinity and another American named Luke Dog and 11 Polish crew members and our captains. And we spent 4 days going across the Drake Passage, which was really rough water. Got very, very sick, lost a bunch of weight, actually. I think I'm still down about 20 pounds where I was a year ago. And we got to the southern tip of South America. Ushuaia arranged this sailboat passage, and I went down there, Doc, with the expressed interest in talking to anybody I could about all the things that we've been hearing down there. A massive UFO under the ice, antediluvian civilizations, bodies, ice age animals that Corey Good says are being extracted, even pyramids poking their head through the ice. And I haven't really conclusively found much evidence for any of that. But I did find some other things out. And one of those was at a Argentinian base. It's called Brown Base on the Palmer Peninsula where we sailed. They said there was some banter among the bases about a UFO sighting about this time last year, and the Argentinian bases told each other about it. And they were reluctant to reveal this, but I kept asking questions, and finally the one guy acquiesced. So that kind of made it seem more authentic that he was really telling what he knew to be true. The other thing we found out, Doc, is that there's definitely 100% a huge no-fly zone right near the South Pole. And that's interesting because that is the reputed hole into the entrance world. This massive cavity that Admiral Byrd suggested you could fly a plane right into with enough room to swing around and come back out. And other whistleblowers through Linda Moulton Howe, Brian S., also confirmed seeing it. And it is within a dozen or so miles from the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, which is interesting because if I were ever to go back to South Pole, I would love to go to the South Pole. I mean, if I go back to Antarctica, to find out if the NSA, which is tasked with everything alien ET, if they're really stationed there. If they are, then that would be a big reveal, even if we couldn't go out to see the hole, that they're there to protect and cover for something.
Now, Brooks Agnew, he was at Disclosure Con. He's a friend of mine. I'm working with him on his Birth book series into a TV series, and he was going to lead an expedition to find the entrance to the Hollow Earth.
Yep.
I haven't seen it myself. I've seen the footage from space, from the satellite or imagery or whatever. No, it was actually in a capsule. It shows the big hole and the winds are, clouds are getting sucked into it. Could be CGI. I'm in the entertainment industry, so I always try to look at things with a little bit of caution. But when stories last so long and there's documentation like Admiral Byrd and that bringing the whole military down there and half of them coming back or whatever the number was, that gives credence to my beliefs that there's something going on. Then you got James Cameron doing The Thing, the movie The Thing, and all these other things that are
John Carpenter, actually.
I'm sorry. You're right. John Carpenter. My bad. Because the entertainment industry, which I'm in, is a way of soft disclosing things or planting seeds in the society's minds that, hey, think about it this way. So, I believe it's something there's got to be, or if anything, the catacombs where they say it's like honeycombed inside, not just a big open sphere. The interest is deep within me to want to know. But not to say devil's advocate, but what if the no-fly zone actually had a decent reason to not let
Yeah.
people fly over. And I'm only thinking of the magnetosphere, the donut.
Yeah.
When it all comes to that point, wouldn't that just drive the compass crazy?
Okay, well, the magnetic South Pole has drifted. It is now off continent.
Okay.
It's moving like the North Magnetic Pole is moving from typically around the Hudson Bay region. It's now spanning across the Arctic, heading towards Siberia at a
Mm.
much faster clip, where the magnetic South Pole has now drifted off of the continent of Antarctica and it is in the ocean again. So your compasses are all going to point to magnetic north, but the planet gyrates around the pole, which is the South Pole. And that's where all lines of latitude reach down. So you could walk all 24 time zones within a minute going around
Mm-hmm.
the South Pole. Now, I know Brooks Agnew very well too, and we've shared notes on many occasions. He was going to go up to try to find the entrance to the underworld in the North Pole. That seems less plausible to me because there's water there, and wouldn't water just seek its own level and pour in there?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Antarctica is on land. It is a very ancient landmass, one of the oldest land masses on Earth. And there's over 2 miles of ice at the South Pole. Now, the official cover story for No Fly Zone is that they have very sensitive instruments there, including the Ice Cube device and others that are detecting vibration, pollution, all sorts of aerial
Atmospheric
phenomenon.
conditions.
So they just
Yeah.
don't want planes coming over. That's the story they give, and you can only land there if it's an absolute emergency. They have all their supplies trucked in from McMurdo via Snowcat with a chain of supply chain. So that would create a lot of vibration to throw off the machines. But this is really interesting. I was on Beyond Belief with George Norrie right when I came back in March, just less than a month from the trip. And I was telling George in between takes that there was definitely this no-fly zone. And George, he said it best, why do they need a no-fly zone? Nobody goes there. Why do you have to have that? It makes no sense.
That's a
And
good
he's right.
impersonation.
Thanks. It doesn't make any sense. And I can tell you right now, the crews are coming back for the season. Is new season is just starting in Antarctica now. But the skeleton crew that's there is only a dozen or so people. And why do they need a no-fly zone if there's only a dozen people there?
Right.
It would be much more efficient to bring in supplies with planes, but that's not the way they do it. So yes, there is an explanation why there is this no-fly zone, but it also fuels speculation that there could also be this massive cavity entering down in through the ice.
Now, do you believe or consider that the other planets in our solar system have a similar opening? Like maybe all planets aren't perfectly round. They're probably like a toroidal donut.
Yeah, spherical. Right. Well, I could tell you, I think the moon has massive cavities within.
Oh,
So one of the
because the
Apollo
ringing of the
missions,
bell
yeah,
from
they
NASA.
one of the Apollo missions, they came down like a really hard landing, and the astronauts noted that they felt like it rang like a bell, that there was a reverberation
Mm-hmm.
from the shock waves of the lander coming down so hard. And of course, there's many stories. I'm going to cover this in Beyond Esoteric with Alternative 1, 2, and 3. Alternative 3 was this Jason Scholar idea in the 1950s that we needed to
Leave
relocate
planet.
humanity off planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alternative 2 is underground. And alternative 1 actually ties into Antarctica because it was to blow holes in the ozone level layer and let pollution come out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the problem with the holes in the ozone was from these nuclear tests, which was Project Argus. And it is still a top secret operation of nuclear testing, unlike any other nuclear tests, which are pretty much all declassified now. But
Isn't that
Argus,
how they make all those bases by setting off
yeah,
a non-nuclear nuke or some sort, and it creates a glass walls, big sphere, and then they can build in there?
That's right. Well, but in this case, this goes into the whole Operation High Jump narrative that Admiral Byrd went down there in 46, 47, and a 6-month expedition was turned away after 2 months
Mm-hmm.
by craft that came out of the water. Still not clear if those may have been the Nazi backward engineered technology out of Point 211, the near Berlin base in New Schwabenland, or if they were allied with reptilian or another malevolent ET force that came out and confronted Armada, Byrd's Armada of fleet and actually sunk one of the ships,
Yeah.
the Murdoch. And so I was going down there to look into a lot of this stuff. And I actually talked to a sea captain on New Year's Eve who has been to Antarctica for over 20 years, taking trips down there. And he has actually been to New Schwabenland. And they didn't go towards where it's presumed that the Point 211 is. But if I had another opportunity to go down there, apart from the South Pole, I would like to go to where I think I can pinpoint where the base was and test if there was any radioactivity. And if there was, then Project Argus was all about nuking that Fourth Reich base that confronted Admiral Byrd, and they wanted to get revenge. And it's very interesting that just the very next year, the U.S. was proposing to create the Antarctica Treaty. And by doing so, one of the first statements was there will be no nuclear testing. And they made a very big point of that. And it's kind of interesting. Why would you make such a big point of no nuclear testing if it's never been done? Or
Mm-hmm.
has it been done?
Right.
And I think it probably has been done. And we could do some very basic testing down there. And I have actually talking to a show producer about maybe mounting an expedition. It's kind of getting late in the season. If we're going to do it this year, we got to do it quick. But maybe in future years, he was doing films for Nat Geo, and maybe we can go down there with some scientific equipment and do some tests down there. It'd be a great experience to go back. And I definitely would with a film crew type of environment. High five.
No, I'm
Doc
doing that,
Skinner's
and
in.
I'm waving my hand saying, "I'll go."
Grow your beard, man. It helps.
Right. So let me ask you this: do we know the exact route of Admiral Byrd and the not convoy? It's not a convoy. What's it called?
Armada.
Armada. Thank you. Thank you.
Ships, yeah.
Um, do we know the route? Because
Yes, we
if
do.
we do, has any like ship hunters gone in there with sonar or radar or whatever to look at the bottom to see if they can find one of these ships and then send something down and see what kind of damage took it down? Was it a laser beam? Was it an explosion?
Right. And that would be the ultimate to find. It's called the Murdoch, the USS Murdoch, like Rupert Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
I write about it in my next book, Beyond Esoteric. I was collecting information for this next book, in that the Murdoch had many different names, and it's one of those things where they would keep a ship with different names so they could off one from the records if they needed to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's been shown to be is the case with the one that went disappearing. I actually talked to a salvage crew, some underwater scuba divers, and they pretty much said, "You have any idea how expensive and difficult an expedition like that would be to mount within the icebergs in
Mm-hmm.
sub-freezing water?" Now, here's something kind of interesting. When I was down in Antarctica, one of the sister ships we were going down there with, another Polish vessel, was with scuba divers. And we got on board, and some of my footage, we're going to have to work on that, Doc Skinner, is to put together the coral and the sea life at the bottom of the ocean in Antarctica is as beautiful and colorful as any coral reef. It just was amazing.
I'm sure a lot of it's pristine down there.
Pristine. The
Yeah.
water is so clear and beautiful and clear. I would have loved to go on scuba diving. I am certified to do it, but it wasn't our trip to do that. But
But
those
you need a
guys,
really, really good dry suit.
yeah, and they were doing shipwrecks too.
Oh,
They did a
wow.
couple of wreck dives too, and under the icebergs. How cool is that?
I would. I'm. It looks cool on video, but I would probably panic.
Nerves of steel.
Yeah, yeah. Those years are gone. I used to be an insurance adjuster for a short stint, so now I think of every worst case scenario that could happen. But no, I mean the footage. Yeah, it's awesome. And So you said 2020 or 2021 you plan on going back?
Well, I'm only
Because
going
I
to go
got my
back because
calendar
I'm
right here.
inviting.
I'm ready to write it in.
Yeah, right. Pen it in. The season begins right now, November until early March, and then it shuts down. You only have a window of about 3.5 or 4 months. So if it's going to happen, I do know a outfitting group that does customized excursions into Antarctica. I put them in touch with the producer. They're working on some other projects, but still want to see it happen. And it's kind of a wait see. But I'm in. Linda Moulton House that she's in. Dr. Michael Sala, and now we got Doc Skinner. So that could be a pretty cool crew down
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, count me in on that. Um, wow. Yeah. All right. So that was South America. Now, you said you really didn't see anything. Where does your where does your theory of or your opinion of your theory, where does it stand? Since you didn't like find anything right off the bat. Of course, I mean you didn't get to look around all of Antarctica. You
Of
only got to go
course.
to the bases, right?
Of course. And
So
this is what I say in my presentation to show how large Antarctica is and to illustrate it to you very quickly. It's the size of both of the lower 48 states combined, or
wow,
twice the size of Australia.
wow.
It is the fifth largest continent in the world, so the distances are vast. And to try to span that or go to all these different places in search of would be one of these expeditions that is very difficult and expensive to mount. So that's why I say I'd really only go back if it was with a film crew. But
Hmm.
the sailboat, I mean, along the Palmer Peninsula, that's about where 90% of people that go to Antarctica see, and it is very beautiful. It's the closest landmass to the southern tip of South America. But to get to near Schwabenland, for example, you'd come in through South Africa. To go to McMurdo or Pole, you'd come in via New
South
Zealand
America.
or Australia. Yeah,
Oh,
so you
okay.
come in from different parts of the southern hemisphere to go to the location that you want to go to. And because
Okay.
the distances are so vast, you're kind of picking and choosing the area that you wish to explore.
Well, it would be a check on my bucket list to go through Australia.
Australia too. All right.
Yeah. So, well, definitely let's talk more about that.
Yeah, man.
Because we could really make some cool stuff happen. And I have a good collection of Dramamine pills, so I should be okay.
Ah, well, my mistake was I didn't take them on time, and
Oh,
that's why I threw up on the Drake going in. But on the way back, I had my sea legs and I took them on time and did not get sick, so that was good.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right, so that's Antarctica. Now I'm really stoked about that. Talk a little bit about South America. Where'd you go? The Mayans, Incas? Where did you head out to?
Well, Mayans is just Central America. Inca, yeah, very much so. Amazingly high culture that spanned an empire from Colombia to Chile,
Hmm.
really about the size in square miles and length of the Mediterranean Roman Empire. I mean, it was a massive South American culture that was utterly quashed by the Spaniards in a very short period of time. And the level of sophistication of building and some of these megalithic sites that we were visiting with the Residence Academy are just mind blowing, Doc. It is around the Sacred Valley in Cusco and Ollantaytambo to Machu Picchu. That triangle has the highest concentration of megaliths in the world. In the world. I mean, they're just everywhere. You're going along the road on a bus and see some huge megaliths on the side of a mountain, and it's barely even got a sign. There's just so many, and some of them are so huge and impressive, such as Sacsayhuaman above the city of Cuzco, which is already at 11,500 feet. And this is over 12. And the blocks, Doc, some of them are 30 feet tall. They're as big as a house, and they're on top of other blocks that are massive, and with other massive megaliths on top of that. And I've been to many megalithic sites around the world. I've been to all 7 continents, and when I did the Sacred Places books, I was going to all these places. I even climbed the Great Pyramid on full moon 1993.
Wow.
And this is what attracts me is these mysteries. I will tell you this: I've not seen megalithic blocks with the angles and the precision that just interlock like a puzzle piece as we did around this Sacred Valley area. So they're very, very important monuments and tell us a lot about the sophistication of the pre-Incan people. And this is how it's all being redated right now, is that the Incans, they didn't even really take credit for it. And they often built right on top of the older pre-Incan stuff. The really finely crafted megaliths have inferior Incan stuff on top of that, and then even more inferior Spanish stuff on top of the Incan stuff, using mortar and ill-fitted blocks which crumble in earthquakes. The megaliths stay virtually connected. And they seem to have known that because, of course, Peru, Bolivia, the whole western part of South America is right on the Ring of Fire. A lot of volcanoes, all the way down to Antarctica. We saw a lot live active volcanoes down there too. It's quite
Because in the footage, you're barefoot in the water in
That's right.
Antarctica.
That's on Deception Island. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll
And
do a whole
so
episode on
you
that.
see, do you see, I don't like the word global warming, but do you see a heating up of Antarctica while you were there?
There is. And I start my presentation called The Hidden Anomalies of Antarctica with a recent map that NASA released showing areas of extreme melting. And this is around the Palmer Peninsula where we were at. But then there were also areas of Antarctica that were experiencing an accumulation of ice. And that's why we haven't seen the sea levels go crazy yet. Somehow Mother Nature knows
Balancing
how to
itself
equalize
out.
that. Yeah, it's amazing, truly, that one area could be shedding so much ice. And we actually saw some calving glaciers, one in Admiralty Bay, pretty much right when we got there in a small sailboat. That's kind of unnerving to see ice from like a 30-story calving glacier come crashing down.
Wow.
And you see it, and then you hear it a few seconds later, and then you see the splash and the tidal wave coming out. And we were far enough away, it didn't really affect us. But if you were right up on one of these, in a kayak or something, it would flip you over and you could die of hypothermia real quick and easy.
Wow.
So these things, it's a wild country down there. And the animals are extremely wild. They have no fear of humans either, which is really was interesting to experience. You can come right up to a mother baby and its penguin with your iPhone and take a picture that close. And they're kind of like looking around. You're like, "Hey, get out of my way! You're blocking my view." They don't really know what to make of you because aren't experienced to humans very often. We had a whale swim right under our boat, which I caught on film and is at the end of my presentation. And well, you posted it on Disclosure Con. If people want to see that presentation, they can go there and check it out.
Yeah. Well, let's go back north again. I want to ask about, we're back to the stones, the gigantic stones. Yeah. Now, I've heard theories that with certain frequencies, you can lift stones like the man who did Coral Castle in Florida.
Yep.
I believe that's because I've seen it in labs where they levitate things with certain frequencies. But then I've also heard through videos I've watched and things I've read that they say you can take certain frequencies and literally melt a rock.
That's right.
Now, is that right? Is that something you've heard too?
Okay.
Because I'm thinking if they melt it like concrete and just make these gigantic blocks, that would explain, unless it's, laser tools or diamond cutters that we didn't think they had at the time. What is your theory?
Well, that is the new way of interpreting how these stones were formed. But it's not a concrete pour because they do know where the quarries are and they can match the stone geologically. And say we'll use the example of Ollantaytambo, which is the gateway to go to Machu Picchu. But it is a megalithic city. Brian Forrester said it's the oldest continuously inhabited city in South America because people still live within the foundations of megaliths. And you see this marshmallowing effect, the pillowing of these megaliths. So it is like they got them to a point where they softened them up. And Brian Forrester and Nassim Harriman, who is a new interpreting physicist, are calling it cold plasma technique, that they had a way to soften these things. And then oftentimes, and I show this in my Mysteries of South America presentation, trowel marks on some of these stones, like somebody was there with a plaster trowel shaping these things, and then they harden and hold those trowel marks. You also see that on some of the megaliths in Egypt.
Or the famous photo of the boulder that's up, and you see the giant's footprint pressed into the boulder.
That's
You know,
right.
or even that the flat rocks in a riverbed where they have the gigantic footprints that are, it's stone.
Yep.
So yeah, it makes you wonder.
The second step of this, and you mentioned frequency, that is how they move the giant blocks. And some of these blocks, as I mentioned, 30 feet tall, bigger than a Volkswagen Beetle in some cases. They know they came from quarries in the case of Ollantaytambo at the top of a mountain, across a valley to another top of a mountain to be placed expertly in place. And that technique was called auditive levitation, and that is using frequency. And one of my little quick claim to fame is one of the few episodes of Ancient Aliens that I appeared on. I was talking about auditive levitation at a place called Non Madal in Micronesia. How, again, they move megalithic blocks over water around an island to put in place so expertly. And such is the case in South America, that the quarries are identified. They went several miles over very inhospitable terrain, not using logs and rollers. No way. These things are way too massive. It would have just crushed the wood, and then put into place so expertly as to almost leave behind a riddle for all of us to figure out.
Do you
Almost like
think?
saying, I dare you to figure this out. See how we did this.
Because I'm
And
doing it
we're
right now.
still puzzling with it today.
Yeah, I'm sitting here imagining like the Pied Piper walking down the trail, and you got these gigantic stones like floating behind him, or you know, a bunch of monks on a flatbed trailer going with stones over their heads. It makes you wonder. Because I don't doubt it. I haven't seen it, so I can't say it's an absolute from my perspective. I would love to see it. I would love to see the technology. I've seen it in laboratories, but I want to see a stone lift, not a bowling ball. Who's the scientist? The something effect, the Hutchinson's effect, Dr. Hutchinson.
Yep.
That stuff is amazing to see. Folks, if you don't know, look up Dr. Hutchinson or the Dr. Hutchinson effect on YouTube. Check out his little lab videos. How he takes liquid with a frequency. There's liquid in a cup, and you see it pull up as if though it was upside down, but it's coming up to the ceiling, and that's why I was wondering about the frequency and the shape of it and all that. And then you talked about how they used it to form it like a marshmallow. I mean, to live back then with those technologies, which some people would say would be magic, um, and the fact it's been done in labs like Hutchinson's lab and others, why aren't we using it to build buildings and to lift couches up to the third floor apartment building? Why aren't we doing this? What's stopping us?
Or lifting our spacecraft into orbit
Well, I didn't want to go that far, but
using
yes,
auditive
exactly.
levitation. So many applications if you think about it.
So I mean, is it the crane companies that are holding us down? Or, um, I mean, is it the bankers? I mean, I don't.
To keep all this technology bottled up? Yeah, this is a big question, and I cover it in my esoteric books, including Beyond Esoteric and Future Esoteric and The Secret State. You have to understand that energy is the number one industry on this planet. So the cabal, this ruling elite that we're hearing so much about lately, that has been kept hidden for so long, well, they control a lot of this technology. And look, they're not so caring that we're going to discuss aliens and what they look like, and if they have a slit in their eyes or if they have scales on their skin. They're more interested in keeping this covered up, because if they were to say aliens are visiting the planet, at first the shock would be, oh, wow, what are they doing here? What are their intentions? And then the second question is, how did they get here? And the way they got here is with this exotic technology. And that's why it's kept bottled up. Why do you think we're still on coal and oil and gas, which is 19th century technology right after the buggy whip? People were horsepower, and we still call it that, like your hat, built Ford tough.
Yeah.
Because this is the number one industry on the planet. So there is a profit motive to keep these inventions bottled up for as long as they can, to milk this system of us using this very toxic fuel to run our planet that has been obsolete for decades, if not a century.
Well, once again, I don't normally do devil's advocate, but I'm having these questions jump out in my head.
Do it.
What could it just be? They keep it quiet because they can only produce so much of, what is it, element 115 that allows the toroidal engine in these craft, and they can only build so many. They don't want it to go, mainstream because I don't know. I know I'm so on the fence with our government and governments around the world and the cabal and everything. It's hard to trust. But where was I going with this? I just totally lost my train of thought.
Just devil's advocate. Why would they keep it bottled up?
Yeah. I mean, could it be? I mean, one, they want to keep it secret, but two, they just don't have enough of this, stuff to create all these engines. Could it be something that's just so exotic that it takes forever to build one, or is it just pure greed? Because it would change a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
but I don't feel that they really want to look out for us. They're not looking at it for our better
they're
interest.
not looking out for us.
Yeah.
You can find out what their intentions are for humanity on the Georgia Guidestones. And that is the number one tenet, to get rid of about 90% of us.
Yeah, to 500. Was it 500 million?
Yeah, 500 million. Well, there's 7 billion of us now.
Yeah.
And counting. There's no love lost for humanity. And I'm getting into this question in Beyond Esoteric, that there is an alien agenda and has been in place on this planet for a long time. And they think of us as the herd, just as a rancher would think of their livestock as a herd. Mm-hmm. And it could very well be, like Zechariah Sitchin and others have postured from the Sumerian text, that humans were tinkered with genetically in our distant past. And those master geneticists are the keepers of the zoo. And they like to keep their animals in their cage in their zoo. That's why the subtitle of Beyond Esoteric is Escaping Prison Planet. Mm-hmm. Because we have to understand the big picture in all this. Like the great Bill Cooper said in his first speech to the UFO Congress in 1989, you put the aliens in the middle of this stuff and you get all the answers. Mm-hmm. And he's right. Yeah. And when you see that there's exopolitical agendas from many different species of ETs that are interacting here on Earth, some malevolent, which are service to self, and some benevolent, which are service to others, but mostly want to stay hidden. Because think what would happen if they landed on the White House lawn, Doc. All of a sudden the Pleiadians come here, hey, we're here to help you guys ascend. Well, then they'd be like our babysitters. And if anything went wrong, we'd blame them that, hey, you got to bail us out. No, it's our job to bail ourselves out. Mm-hmm. It's humanity that must awaken now to understand the sheer power of many of these hidden technologies. For example, 0-point energy to get us off this planet, to explore the universe. Are we ready for that? I mean, I look around planet Earth and they're still starving human beings every single night. We got violence and fear emanating out of this planet. We're like the planet of the apes to these advanced ETs. They do not want to be our babysitters. So if you understand a bit more about exopolitics, you'll see the motives for what these ETs are doing. And then it also explains how the malevolent ETs have been abducting humans, cattle mutilations, people going missing. I think the number is 800,000 in the U.S. every year alone.
Wow.
Where are all these people going to? And a lot of the people that are coming out of the secret space program, and now I'm getting to know several of them in conferences, from Corey Good to Captain Kramer to James Rink and Penny Bradley, all I can say, friends of mine, and disclosing some very interesting information about what they saw. And it includes some very, very dark things, including trafficking humans off planet.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. All these people disappearing. Not all of them, but some of them are being put into trafficking, and then some are being taken to off world for whatever purposes. Some say to enslaved. Um, what do you think about these Google images, like Google Mars, where bases are showing up, solar panel arrays, roads? Even in one, there's looks like a pickup truck. We've heard from other people like Andrew Bushago that there is breathable air there. It's just very thin. It's like being at a high altitude. Um, have you seen any of these? And have you seen Third Phase of Moon's new footage that they've released that shows orbiting Mars? Someone in a craft, like a spaceship or something, is filming, like they do in the International Space Station, and it's an object that's floating in front of Mars, and it's probably the most real thing I've ever seen. And if it's fake, it is amazing. But they compared it to actual NASA footage of other things, and it looks identical.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and then the planet or the moon that goes around Mars, called Phobos, has a monolith on it. And
mhm.
Buzz Aldrin even said we should go up there and we should explore Phobos and see what that monolith is.
And
And
how did
there's
Sir Arthur C.
extraterrestrial
Clarke know? How did
artifacts all over the moon
Yeah,
and Mars and
but
probably other planets.
now and see that's where you go. How did Arthur C. Clarke know?
Yeah. Or how did George
How did
Lucas
George
know?
Lucas know about that? Not Phobos, but the one around, I think it's Saturn, the moon that looks
Yeah.
like the Death Star with the
Yeah.
rim around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're on the tip.
That's why this is such a fun thing to do and learn about all this stuff. It's
You got
always
it.
never ending. So, well, so what's your next thing coming up?
I am, well, Thanksgiving with the family coming up. Working on Beyond Esoteric day and night, and coming out to see you and work on the Antarctica and South America videos. So we're going to have some really cool narrated videos for Sci-Spy TV.
Hmm.
Suzanne Ross, giving a shout out to the
Yep.
wonderful work she's done there, and you and I contributing to that. And then my first conference will be in January 2020 in Cocoa Beach, Florida, with Jim Vieira and Clifford Mahudi. And then I got UFO MegaCon in February, and then Human Origins in early April, and 5D event also in early April. Then I got the event that I produced called the How Weird Street Fair on May 3rd in downtown San Francisco. Great big 30,000 person dancing street event. I'm also designing the poster. I come up with the theme every year. I'm almost done with that, and it goes to the graphic artist. And then Contacting the Desert, and I think one or two more in the fall that I've signed on
Nice.
for. Yeah.
Nice. Well, Brad, I'm glad we had some time to chat and talk about, all of this, the trips and your book. One more time, let people know where they can get your books at, where they can find out more information, what platforms you're on.
Sure. Yeah, check out bradolsen.com if you want to know more about me and the Howard Street Fair I present, as well as my upcoming conferences are on that site. If you're interested in my books or the other authors I publish, cccpublishing.com. I also have the Esoteric Series YouTube page, Facebook page, and you can find me on Facebook or Twitter under CCC Publishing.
Nice.
So looking forward to connecting with you out there, and I'll have my books at all the conferences I speak at and signing copies for people, and hope you come out, see one of my talks, because this will be the last year I'll present on Antarctica and the mysteries of South America. But I was just there earlier this year, so it's still all
Nice.
very fresh in my mind and new information that I'm collecting all the time to add to these talks.
Well, fantastic. Well, I want to have you back again. We can talk about more and other things. Um, so thank you so much for coming on the show. There was one other thing. Where was it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. No, we'll get back and then we'll set up a time for you in December so we can get this knocked out for 2020 and talk about a possible trip. We'll go from there. All right.
All right, buddy. You got it.
Well, cool. Hang tight. I'm gonna do my goodbyes and I'll get back with you. Okay.
You got it, man.
All right. Cool. All
Thanks
right,
for
ladies and
having me
gentlemen.
on.
That's Brad Olsen, a world explorer here on 1028 Live. And real quick, for those that weren't here at the beginning, I want to tell you about our sponsor. This is Psionics. You can go to psionics.com, SIONYX.com, and you can check out the video footage of this amazing full color military grade night vision camera. And it is awesome. It has the ability to shoot video, photos. You can send your stuff via Wi-Fi to your phone. And what else? It does time lapse as well. It's awesome. Go check it out in the shopping cart in the discount code. Type in DOC1028. That's DOC1028. And I would like to talk about a show coming up in just 2 days on Thursday. Wait, that's the wrong day. I had on Friday. On Thursday, I have a wonderful guest, a friend of mine who was in Turnover. She played the role of Pepper. She's a young actress that is just taking Hollywood on by storm. She's with Disney right now. So for those of you millions of people that signed up for Disney Plus, she's on there as a new princess, a Disney princess, Princess January. So she'll be here along with her mother, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is an amazing mom who has been right beside her daughter throughout this whole thing, and they have their own production company called Mother and Daughter Pictures. And we're going to be talking about some of their projects and their most recent short film called Unseen. Saturday and Sunday, October 5th and 6th at the Honda Casino Resort in Pine Top, Arizona. 1028 Productions and Whispering Pines Resort Cabins is proud to present Disclosure Con 2019. The one event in the White Mountains where sci-fi and sci-reality collide under one roof. There will be vendors, photo ops, cosplay characters, speakers, artists, YouTube celebs, researchers, and more. Scheduled to appear, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, Laura Eisenhower. Published author, inventor, and host of X Square Radio, Brooks Agnew. Hosts of the YouTube hit show, Edge of Wonder, Ben Chastain and Rob Counts. Creator of the children's shows, Growums and Friendlyans, Joel Christopher Payne. Actress, model, musician, and ufologist speaker Paula Asteria. Host of The Leak Project, the legend himself, Rex Bear. Award-winning Sholo MUFON director, David Loomis. Leading paranormal researcher from the UK, Don Phillips. Creator and host of the SciSpy.tv network, Suzanne Ross. From the YouTube show Mysterious Forces Live, Natasha Nix. From the SciSpy TV network show World Stompers, Brad Olsen. Directors of Arizona MUFON and Phoenix MUFON, Stacy Wright and Jim Mann. And from the show 1028 Live and your host for Disclosure Con 2019, Doc Skinner. For more info, tickets, or VIP passes, please go to disclosurecon.com. You can also purchase tickets or VIPs at Big Kid Gamer Lounge in Lakeside, Arizona. VIP pass holders receive early access both days of entry to VIP after party Saturday night at the legendary Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top with our guest speakers and DJ Jay Allen playing music all night. Entry to Sunday night's fireside chat with our guest speakers and you. Get your tickets or VIP passes now.
It's 1028 live, man. This is bigger than live PD Nation. This is bigger than cops.
Of course, I don't know which one's live, you or me. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on this big ball of ours known as the planet Earth. I am Doc Skinner. Oh, yeah, it was all on you guys. Doc Skinner with 1028 Live with my very, very special guests tonight, Robert Counts and Ben Chastain from Edge of Wonder, live from New York here on 1028 Live. That sounded cool. How you guys doing?
Hey, good.
Awesome, Doc. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem, dude. Everybody is so stoked about you guys coming to the event October 5th and 6th.
Sharing this right now, so.
Oh, fantastic.
You can talk to me while he types.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are going to be here October 5th and 6th at the Honda Casino Resort in Pine Top, Arizona for Disclosure Con 2019. And I am so pumped. Just what you guys are going to talk about, because anything you guys talk about is awesome. Because one, I have to give you guys credit. You do the research. And back in the day, you did these like segments, these long. I know you're doing more live now, but especially when you did your segments with David Wilcox and everybody else in the Secret Space program. I mean, awesome. Now let me ask you real quick: how does it feel to know that now you're in these circles of people involved or incorporated with all of these amazing things that people just hear about?
I mean, it's super cool because, we were, Ben and I, before all of this, we were consuming all of this just like everyone else. Like, we were watching Corey Good when he came out. We were watching David Wilcock for a long time, like all of that. We were the ones in our offices just kind of going back and forth and like geeking out on this stuff, right? And so then it was just surreal. Like when Edge of Wonder started and we started making these contacts with people, how fast it happened. We were just like, I remember looking over at Ben and being like, yo, David Wilcock's going to be on the show next week. And we were just like, yeah, it's so trippy.
Yeah, well, it was so funny because, we really wanted to bring him for quite a while on the show. And, because, trying to contact him, it's like, we never really got in touch with him. And then one day I just opened our email and I just happened to see this email from one of the PR people that were kind of working with David. And he was like trying to convince us he was trying to sell us on having David Wilcock on our show. He's he's written a lot of books, best-selling author, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we were like, we know.
Why are you trying to sell me? Yeah.
As soon as I got the email, I literally fell out of my seat. Like, I was like, no joke. I was just like, dude, they're trying to convince us that, but it was really great. So then,
Yeah, so Ben responded, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. I was like, well, yeah.
Hold on. No.
I kind of did though. I was like, I didn't want to show, I was like, it was really good. And then
I think what led to David Wilcock being on the show was we had a great interview with Corey Good and Roger Richards, a couple of months before that. And, after that interview, we just all became really good friends because we just got really deep really fast. And I think they saw that, we weren't screwing around. We really wanted to know what was going on. And also there was a lot of respect there. And I think they appreciated that. So it just kind of went down, that just went down really fast, where all of a sudden David was on there. And actually we didn't get to meet David until like last month at Disclosure Con.
Well, in person.
Yeah, in person. So that was the first time we met. And actually a really funny story that I didn't tell.
You mean dimensions of disclosure.
That's what I meant. Sorry. Sorry. My mind's all on Disclosure Con right now.
Right on.
Okay. The biggest, best. No, I'm just kidding. So we met him for the first time at Dimensions of Disclosure, and I remember it was like this kind of party that they had just for like the people that had spent more money on their tickets and stuff. I see David. He and I make eye contact. I go up to him and I give him a big hug, and I kind of like released from the hug, and I looked down, and he had gotten cocktail sauce all over my shirt. It was hilarious.
And you were like, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am, Dave?"
Yeah. So I have like a nice shirt on. I have cocktail sauce all over it from hugging David Wilcock. And I go up to Corey and I'm like, dude, David just got cocktail sauce all over me. And he started laughing and he's like, you don't even understand. He's like, when we used to be on Gaia at Cosmic Disclosure, we would go out for lunch and come back and stuff would be all over our clothes. And they would get so upset at us. And I was like, yeah. I was like, man, that's like perfect, like those are the kind of stories you don't get when you're like sitting at your home watching Cosmic Disclosure.
That's for sure.
All the most love to David and Corey. Those guys are
awesome. Yeah. Oh, my cheeks hurt. Stop. Wow. Well, I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. It's your show tonight.
No, go ahead.
Okay, is this going to go on between you guys the entire show?
Or you go, no. No, I've experienced it in the past year since Disclosure Con. I originally started the event with just Andrew Bishago because I knew him, and Travis Walton because I know him. He's from up here. You do know that's where you're coming, right? Where all that happened. Yeah. I mean, not in my neighborhood down the road, but yeah. And so it blew up into this huge thing. Mike Barra's calling me, Brooks Agnew's calling me. I've got artists it was just, I could not believe the power of the internet. And now it's even bigger this year. I've been mentioned on Richard Hoagland's show, your guys' show, everybody else's show. Of course, that's what I love about you guys and everybody's willing to instead of clawing their way to the top on their own, willing to uplift each other through cross-promoting and helping each other with our audiences so we can get the truth out. And you guys have done an amazing job. Congratulations on DOD, Dimensions of Disclosure, your first event. Is that your very first kind of event or first event of this type?
Well, it was our first event that we hosted. We've been to a few conferences now, but this is the one that we were kind of like hosting the entire event.
Yeah, they asked us to host. So Dimensions of Disclosure asked us to host, and we were like, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And so we went and we just had a great time. It was so much fun and
a lot of work though.
A lot of work.
Really, we were like nonstop,
Yeah,
morning to night.
The only bad part was there were so many people there that I actually I wanted to talk to because they had been following us for so long, and it was like we were just running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Well, so and you've been to other conferences and Comic-Cons and whatnot. It's a sea of people, and you come across these people, especially on the talking panels. You have a sea of audience. You got a microphone stand, a line of people, and you got a few seconds. And a lot of those people, they get stage fright or they don't say the question right. And they're like, oh, that was my only chance. And that's why, we're not the size of San Diego. I'm sorry I'm looking this way, but that's where the screen is. Let me see if I can move you guys over a little more so it's more centered.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
We're a small mountain town, a vacation town, number one log cabin vacation destination in the world. We've got Bigfoot, Navajo, Apache, Travis Walton, UFOs, TR-3Bs fly right over us on Thursday nights.
Does Travis know you put him in the same list with Bigfoot? Is he okay with that?
Well, they both happened in the woods.
Yeah.
That's the connection.
It's true. That is true.
So anyway, it's a great community. We're over a mile high up in elevation. It's pine trees everywhere. We got snow. It might snow. It snowed last Disclosure Con. So you might get to experience that. You guys are actually getting a bonus day. So you guys get to go out and about, check out the trails or the shops, whatever you guys want to do. Just let me know. And it will be a fun drive up the mountain. You'll be getting a tour guide of all the cool stuff that you didn't know was there before. And
Awesome.
yeah, giants and super trees and
Wow.
rock quarries that are canyons and fun stuff like that.
Yeah, that's real cool.
So anyway, you guys somehow got entangled into Q. You guys know how that happened? I mean, I know it was our dear friend Dylan Monroe who kind of helped spawn the knowledge of Q and the connections and stuff. But he spoke for the very first time in front of a crowd at DisclosureCon last year.
Yeah.
So I do ask of this of all my speakers, if you guys got something in your back pocket, a little something or anything, please bring it to DisclosureCon. We like, have first of something from everybody. So it keeps it interesting. Now, as we were talking about, big sea of people, you're not getting really to ask your questions. Here at DisclosureCon on the mountain, it's not going to be a huge thing. Maybe we had about 1,000 people come through last year.
Wow.
When you come up here, if you get a ticket, you can enjoy all the speakers and the vendors and everything about it. But if you want the special treatment and you would like to have some quality time to talk to Rob and Ben, get the photo, the autograph, maybe ask a question or two, the opportunity is the VIP pass. It's for the whole weekend. It's not one day or the other. It's just a whole weekend. So you don't miss anybody because we have 5 speakers a day. And the first night, we're going to have a private VIP only party at the legendary Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top. And then that's with all the speakers. And then the second night, which will close out the night after Brooks Agnew speaks. And I'll tell you guys the schedule here too. I haven't even told you guys yet. We will have a fireside chat. So it's really cool. We pulled out guitars last year. Travis did, and Travis Walton. We were just all singing songs.
That's awesome.
There. Oh yeah, it was not what I expected. I thought it was going to be, we're all going to surround serious conversations and telling stories. And no, it was real. I mean, we did, but it was lighthearted and fun. And then the guitar came out. It was a lot of fun. Natasha Nix has got an alien electric guitar she's probably going to bring. What else?
That sounds terrifying.
Oh yes, and I can't wait till you guys see the photo area. Okay, first of all, we have the interior set of the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that. That's
if we can figure out how to put it back together.
Oh, that's what you meant.
You know how many pieces there are?
Oh
but my crew, they put it together. I didn't lift a nail. They did all while I was doing other logistics for the event. And it was a big hit last year, so we're bringing it back, hopefully. And then we have a brand new setup that we just built. There was all this stuff with Spider-Man going on.
Yeah.
Well, we did a little tribute to him. So we've built an apartment building in the middle of downtown city that will allow you to defy gravity.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So so I see this. I see Rob scaling the wall and Ben sticking his head out the window because we got apartment windows, yelling at him. And if couples want to do the upside down Spider-Man kiss, they can. Babies, it's safe. It's all. Oh, by the way, it's all ages. Kids 12 and under are free with paid parent adult ticket. And got a costume contest. You guys got costumes?
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
Kind of. Yeah,
I'm gonna dress up like Marty from Back to the Future.
There is one costume that I have, but actually it might be better for you.
Oh, is it Bigfoot?
No.
Oh,
but it's pretty cool.
I guess we've got a costume.
It is a cool costume.
You could be Ben and you could be Rob.
Yeah,
switch.
Yeah, we should switch. That's an awesome idea. We were thinking about doing that this year for a Halloween show where we act like one another and kind of make fun of one another.
or we were going to dress up as David Wilcock
and Corey Good and then have an episode of Cosmic Disclosure. We'll call it Cosmic Disappointment. And have cocktail sauce all over my shirt. That's how you'll know I'm dated.
Oh God, we're gonna have so much fun. Oh, and I got other surprises for you too. Oh, hold on. Wow, this has gone. We have to do our hellos if you don't mind, real quick. So let me
Sure.
scroll on the list real quick.
Oh yeah, I saw Jermaine came on.
Yeah, we got Jermaine, Jason, Cher, Stormy, Sarah, Cher, O'Brien, Riley. You guys know O'Brien. You met O'Brien recently. You'll meet her again.
Okay.
She's going to be coming up with a new show, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her.
I like this. I was just looking through the comments, and I see one comment that says, Rob looks tired. Well, everyone, that's how I always look.
Yeah, well, it is 10:30 p.m. our time, and we've been working all day pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you guys staying up late.
no worries.
No. We're not complaining. We're just telling people why we might be tired.
I'm just always tired.
Yeah, I've been up since like 15 years ago, so I get these things under my eyes now.
Yeah.
So then we have Tabitha. Shane has joined. Let's see, Deborah, Karen, Dave Woodman. Dave Woodman, that's an amazing artist. We were trying to get him to come out for Disclosure Con this year. I'll tell you all about him off the air. He's just an amazing guy. Let's see, Kesslin is with us. Richard, Randy, Dale. I'm not reading any comments yet, folks. Brandon, let's see. Where should we run to? Okay, because they usually have these conversations, on their own, so you got to skip over those.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, today is Andrew Bishago's birthday.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
I called him earlier today. He had, remember I was telling you about his eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
He had a lens put in this morning. I call him 2 hours after he left the hospital. And he's like, "Hi, doc." And I'm like, "Happy birthday." And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, because he likes to talk. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's, "I just got out of surgery and the drugs are good." So yeah, he's got a new lens, and hopefully next year we could probably get him here for
Awesome.
because it was based off him. He's what's
The
sparked
first.
all this, and the poor anyway. So everybody wish Andrew Bishago a happy birthday. Huh?
Actually, he was
one of our first episodes.
Actually, the first episode we ever did together had where we were talking about
Andrew Bisagio. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't it cool how it's all
awesome
the synchronicity?
story.
Yeah. It wasn't the first one that got published, but it was the first one that we ended up filming.
Yeah, it was like the second or third show.
Well, no, it was the first one we did, because we first published, I think, the one before it, but we filmed it before.
That's true. Yeah.
The time travel one.
Well, I've heard the story. I mean, I lived with a guy. I heard everything, and all I said was, I remember I asked him recently. I said, "So, if I built it, could you tell me how to make one of these?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Come on, really?" He's like, "Nope, been there, done that."
Wow.
He didn't want anything to do with the idea of building a new Tesla jump room. He was like, nope, because he says it messed with his eyes and everything, and that's why he's having this visual thing. So after so many jumps and whatnot, he was lucky compared to some of the other kids. Hold on, audience. Shh. Yeah, do you got an audience in the background?
Oh,
no, just the cleaning lady.
She's really sweet though.
Yeah. Now, hey, you're all bringing the cameraman, Bowden, right? It's Bowden, right?
No, he's not. He can't come. So we wanted to tell you that. Like, we were trying to tell you that. Like, he can't actually make it. So we're trying to figure out how to get our other cameraman, Jimmy, to go in his place. So we just need to figure that out.
Yeah. So we could talk about that after the live thing and figure out what to do. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've done a lot of just shooting the stuff. So what do you guys? I know you're working on it, but what do you guys plan on discussing during your segment at DisclosureCon? Just an elevator pitch. Don't give it all away.
Well, actually, because we're still kind of figuring it out, because there's so many different topics that we can kind of cover. So, one, we kind of thought about bringing in a little bit of kind of some really interesting, deep things that we have found throughout our research that we haven't really presented in a show yet. So that's kind of one thing. And then the other thing is, like, it's interesting because you kind of brought up QAnon, but we weren't really planning to talk about anything like this. But if it's something.
I mean, 1028 Productions. I was produced October 28th.
Oh wow,
Right.
that was when Q first posted.
Exactly. I've been with him since day one.
Wow.
Well, I've followed
Yeah,
not
sure.
the past 2 months because I've been so one, 8chan went down and I've been so busy
Yeah.
with Disclosure Con. But yeah, I kind of got that. I was like, oh, I don't know. I just something, and I related to it, and I was like, you guys know who it is?
No.
Well, it's not.
Well, I mean,
It's not a person. That's the
yeah.
thing.
See, you think it's AI?
No.
I mean,
It's
I
a
mean,
military operation
it's a
with
group
several
of,
people.
yeah, it's a group of people. I think part of the NSA has something to do with it, and then obviously it's like very high level top military officials. I mean, according to what Q said, there's only 10 people that actually know who.
So, but do you think AI is involved to allow all these messages to have the right timestamp and connection to this post, and that's just
Well,
synchronicity or the work?
I think some of them I think are syncs, and then other parts of it I know that they're actually, it's because it's a military operation. This is just what they do. They're good at planning all of that stuff out. Like anyone who thinks that Trump's Twitter is actually him behind the phone doing this is, I mean, it's not. It's like these things are all like they're all arranged, and this is what they do.
Yeah, it's thought out. I mean, I think that when, like what Rob said, the tweets and the Q posts, I think all of this stuff is planned out ahead of time. I think they already kind of know what they want to do.
It's all choreographed.
Yeah, there could be now with the AI, there could actually be an AI monitoring because there's so many things going on. Like, for example, if anyone uses the name QAnon in a post, whether it's hashtag or not, I'm sure they have a way to analyze all of that and then, categorize that. And then they can kind of look at it as like human eyes and see, what's going on. And they may use certain things to comment on in the post.
Also, there would be no way that certain things like some quantum computing and AI would not be in place to hide where these guys are posting from. There's no way the CIA would not have technology to find if it was a single poster. Mm-hmm. The only way that they would be able to hide it is if they had equal or greater technology than the CIA to be able to, keep everything that they're doing very secret. And that's why it would only make sense that the NSA is behind a large part of all of this.
Right.
Of course, in our humble opinions.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you really think about it, right? I mean, it's something we kind of say on our show sometimes, but like the CIA, you're telling me the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the U.S. military can't figure out who some dude behind a computer is after 2 years?
Yeah.
So that's why to us it seems that this is.
They'd have sent a SWAT team after 5 minutes in real life.
Yeah. Well, hold on, let me move this over here because I know I got an audience that's been sitting here and they're just hearing you and they want to see you. So let me move this over here.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. The other thing is I think I've got maybe a question or two over here.
Yeah, sure.
Got to say the rest of the hellos. Eve, David, Jermaine. Hey, Ben Chastain is on. Mike, Tiffany, Thomas, Amber, Samantha, Robert, Jessica, Brian, Paula Asteria. You've met her, right?
Oh yes, I know. Yeah.
Did you know she's on Picard, Star Trek?
No
way.
Yeah, I got
awesome.
a Star Trek actress of the new show at my event.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we got
I think
Laura.
I read that in the description. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's just a ball of light. I try to collect my friends that are great balls of energy, not any negativity, not pulling all the political stuff, just good people that want to uplift each other, educate, inspire. Let's see who else. We got a lot of questions or comments. People saying they think they know who Q is. There are a lot of them are. Let's see. They are using the NSA with quantum computing. Yep, is what Brandon said. But everybody's saying they love you guys. So
hey, thanks.
I think that's the gist of it.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go through the comments later and check them all out.
Cool.
So,
I actually have it on my phone right here, so I am kind of looking at some of the comments.
okay. So I'll put you as the moderator. I don't know how to do that really, but I'll just say it is. See. So now you guys, one of you was a photographer and the other worked in food or something with photos and
No,
food?
I was actually we were both photographers. I was a professional photographer for a while, but I have a background in creative direction and branding. So I was actually a brand manager for a long time. And you know, while Ben was doing the photography, I was actually so we both worked for a media company for a while, and he was doing the photography. I was actually doing the creative direction. That's actually how we met.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of, we were always talking about this stuff, and it just, one thing led to another, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and like being the chief photographer, I was going out a lot of different assignments from really all over the world, you know, and seeing a lot of things that were happening firsthand, especially like I was in Inglewood in Chicago, which is the worst area of Chicago. In fact, while we were there, someone was shot actually. But you know, and
isn't that surprising, because there's like 6 of those a day in Chicago.
Yeah, there were, in that area, there's about literally 2 to 6 shootings a day. You know, in that area of Chicago, and we went there to kind of do a story. It was really kind of scary, actually. But we met some really cool people. But yeah, and then, you know, I was in Ferguson at the height of the Ferguson protests there, Hong Kong protests there. So, you know, after going to all these different events and seeing kind of what was going on, and, you know, we would come back and I'd always talk about, you know, the experience. And what started happening is we started seeing, well, me being at these places, I would see kind of like a small little isolated incident that happened, and then the media would just like
blow it up.
On one incident and blow it up. Yeah. So, you know, I started noticing this, and I would see the headlines, and I'm like, dude, this is so weird, because, you know, this is just like the small thing. It wasn't even part of the whole story or anything. So this is the kind of stuff that him and I would talk about a lot. And
well, yeah, and I was in the newsroom and laying out the front pages of the newspaper, and also because I was heavily into branding and stuff, I was constantly researching all kinds of things going on in the media and everything. And it's so weird to be in the situation where your newspaper is laying out the truth, and you're watching CNN and MSNBC lie, and you're wondering what in the world is going on, you know? And then, you know, everybody's kind of coming down on Fox. Like, everyone's always known that Fox has kind of been like, you know, it's a little extreme in the way it tells the news, right? But no one really at that point really thought CNN or MSNBC was that kind of cray, you know? But then look at it now, like, they're the least trusted medias out there. Like, it's bad.
It's like there was a management change that screwed it all up.
Yeah, they put
brought in an idiot.
Charge.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Can't think of his name right now. Oh,
you know that guy?
Anderson Cooper.
Oh, Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Anderson Pooper.
I love how you guys come up with names to save yourselves from the algorithms. It's genius. What was the one you came up last night? The Deep Skank?
Deep Skank, and then the Deep Skank, yeah.
Oh, you were on last night?
Yeah, the live.
Oh, the live, yeah. Yeah, it was really hilarious.
Now, I know you guys have, you know, been so busy traveling around being superstars. Are you guys going to get back to doing the segments where you have all the cool animation and all the research, like when you did the vampire stuff?
Now,
so we do actually. So how this works is we have a Tuesday show that publishes that is basically just like what you said on YouTube. So there's a Tuesday show that publishes. It's almost always in studio, either an interview with someone or it's in studio. And then we do a live show on Fridays. But we have now, what we've done is we've created our own platform, mostly as a survival strategy, because
I was going to bring this up. Yeah.
YouTube has basically tried to destroy us by censoring us and not suggesting our videos. So our revenue on YouTube is down about 1/15 of what it was as of last year at this time.
And I wanted to point out the fact that they took you off my subscription list. Yeah. I looked at you guys the other day, and my subscribe thing wasn't on. The bell. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
So-
first time I've actually noticed, because I watch you guys all the time. So I was like, dude, that's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we would be at like 1 million subscribers right now.
Yeah.
It's happening to everybody.
Yeah, so we're getting multiple emails from people a day saying they were unsubscribed from us and they had to resubscribe, that their notification bell was turned off, that they can't find our videos anymore, et cetera, et cetera. So we did something. We created edgeofwonder.tv, which was actually just supposed to be a Patreon page for us, just in case people wanted to contribute. But what we decided to do was give back to the people that were trying to help us. So we actually post videos there every week, once a week, that are really super hard hitting. The stuff that we can't put on YouTube. It's like the craziest of the craziest stuff where we'll talk about like, pizza fence or like, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
We just got done with a music industry series that was like probably one of the most mind-blowing.
I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Or I think when we first talked, I mentioned I was in the business, and anyway,
yes.
yeah, you brought, and I was like, yeah, there's a reason why I went up to the mountain,
Yeah.
because I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Like Corey Feldman said, I was surrounded by them, but I was naive because of the lifestyle. I mean, you go to parties, you're drinking, and all that, and there's girls held up in that room. Oh well, I didn't even. You don't pay attention. Anyway, I'm worried to say certain words too now.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So, but what I'm trying to do now is more of a family-oriented, educational stuff, doing documentaries, where I'm in control. The buck stops with me, and I want it to work so I can make money for Operation Underground Railroad. You know about them?
No, that sounds awesome. Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. You need to look Operation Underground Railroad. OUR. This gentleman's name's Tim. He used to be law enforcement with the government. And there was an American pastor that was in South America whose son was kidnapped. Now, since he was an American citizen, we were able to go over there and search for him. Well, in the process, they never found the boy to this day, but they've been rescuing other kids that are in, these trades. And so they'll go in, they'll get one or two, and then they bust in and get the rest. And it's huge. So many big names have joined on board. And I'm willing to donate money for a flight for a bunch of guys to go save a bunch of kids. So
That's awesome.
Check them out. That might be an organization. I mean, I think it would be.
Now that you mentioned that, I that did come across. Somebody else was talking about it, because now that you mentioned what the organization is for, I have.
Who's the motivational guy with the teeth that's like 9 feet tall? He's been around for like 30 years.
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
Shaquille O'Neal.
He always talks like this. He's always happy.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Who is it?
Movies too.
Who is it? Anyway, but yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He donated like $1 million to the operation, and they really do amazing work. So that's the goal of my company, 1028 Productions, is to pay my rent and bills, put on some good events, but also all the leftover I want to donate to them, because I was kidnapped when I was 3, and I could have been in that circuit, but angels persevered, and I was able to get out of there. And so it's very, very near dear to my heart. And so when you guys talk about it, I appreciate you guys bringing it out there, because I try to do it, and I saw the FBI files with all the little symbols, and I saw the circle.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I almost did it.
Oh no, you did it.
I did.
It's all right.
All the deaf people like, he did it. So, but now where am I going with this? I just totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were talking about. Just lost it. What the hell was he talking about?
I don't know. I just heard an F-bomb, and then it all went to hell.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm just I'm all about that, and I forgot where I was going with it. I'll remember it in playback though. I'll be watching. Like,
Yeah, I'd be
what I
like,
was saying.
that's what we were talking about.
Right. Hey, so you guys like UFO watching, like going out at night, seeing?
Yeah,
for
of course.
sure.
Yeah.
And I am in no way endorsed by this company. I hope maybe in the future, because this is probably the coolest darn thing I've ever seen. You all know Ben Henson, Fact or Faked or Fact or Fiction or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
terrible with names.
It's okay. I was at the International UFO Congress last week. Yeah, it was last week. Thanks to Natasha, Nick, she got me in there, and I got to meet some amazing people. Oh, I got Jim Goodall. He walked up to the booth and just started talking to me. You know who that is?
That name's really super familiar. I'd have to see his face.
He used to work at a place called Area 51, and
I
he
I know.
helped design the SR-71. He's going to be
Awesome.
there, and you guys are going to get to meet him.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And we got some other possible guest appearances that might happen, but you guys may want to get one of this. Everybody out there, look, I would love it if I got a free one out of this little promo, because they don't even know I exist yet, but hopefully they will. Psionics, okay, see right there. This guy, go to him. His name's Dan. Phone number is 603-923-8245, and it's a business card he was giving out, so I know it's okay to give his number. But are you ready for this? Check this out. You see that right there?
Yes.
Full HD color night vision,
Dang.
military grade.
That's awesome.
Just came
We were
out.
just talking about that today in our.
It is so. I mean, look, it's a beautiful. It's not all black. Everything, all electronics are black. Can't find it if you're blind like me. I mean, so they had a shadow box at their booth, and it had a hole, and you look, and it was just pitch black in there. You took this and you put it in there, and they had a Voltron toy, all colorful and stuff in there, and it was in full color 4K. It looked like.
That's
Or an
crazy.
That's awesome.
Dude,
I mean, those for my life.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, get it. Tell them Doc Skinner sent you, even though I have no affiliation. I hope they will. I would love them to be a sponsor, but maybe you guys.
Dude, that'd be awesome if they could sponsor just like one.
Right? I mean, just give me one, and I'll do it for a full year. Every show I'll talk about psionics.
All the crazy things I did last week with the camera and what I saw.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were just literally just talking about this today.
Could you imagine if you put this with the P9000, the super zoom camera by Panasonic or
Oh yeah, that one.
Hook that up to it.
Yeah,
shoot it
dude.
at the sky or the moon.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, all right. Psionics. If you sell a bunch in the next 48 hours, 3 of them, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'd love to have them be a vendor at the event next year, because it was just the coolest darn thing. All right, so have we talked about everything but maybe what we should be talking about, or did we cover things that we needed to talk about?
I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what we were talking about before? Someone made a comment. We were talking about symbols and the pizza fence stuff.
Yeah.
That's what that's what you started talking about when we all forgot.
Oh yeah. So it's on. It's very, very real. And I think it's ever since 2012, it has all come out of the closet full force. No hiding in music videos, in the lyrics of songs, backgrounds, subliminal stuff in movies. I've been in the business for 40 years. I know the tricks. I see that stuff. I've always been able to read between lines because I was behind the curtain. And so I feel that that portion of my life was to prepare me for this time in my life, to be able to see the red flags and not be caught off guard or be naive like I used to be. And I think it is part of the great awakening that's happening. So, okay, I'm getting deep.
No. You can't go too deep with us.
That's true. The rabbit hole goes deep with you.
Yeah.
So,
we're actually wondering how deep we should get with you, because we don't know exactly your fans and who's watching and everything.
I don't either. I know there's 2 people in the room with me right now, and I think my mom might be up. So, yeah. Shout out to Mama Skinner.
Farlow's on here.
Yeah, hey, Steph.
And I saw a couple.
Oh, you're checking out. Oh, I haven't even said hello to everybody yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow, a lot of people are on.
She's on here, but hi, Mandy, if you're on there.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Grab this thing here. We got Laura. I haven't read any comments. Steve Johnson, Mark, Lisa, Casey, Kathy, Jamie, Stephanie, Brandon. All right, cool. I think I got everybody that jumped on board. Then there's a bunch of comments, which I'll have to get to you guys later. I'm sorry if there's any questions. I don't think I see any. Did you see any since you're moderating?
Yeah, no, what actually, it's not on here anymore. I think it was someone named David posted something. David Dennis, I think he said something about, anyway, he said he went to Dimensions Disclosure because we were hosting, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. He just said we did a good job. So that's good considering it was our first time, and it was just like, yeah, it's your guys' show. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Do it. You know, we're like, what do we say? What do we even do? But it kind of worked out. We just kind of winged it, and surprisingly,
yeah, it's easy when there's a lot of mistakes and you make fun of yourself a lot.
Oh yeah, that's the key. If you can't make fun of yourself, it's the wrong business to be in. Hold on, I got something to share with the world.
I mean,
we finished the Okay, so we have when you go to events, you have your program books.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna make comic books, right?
Yeah. Do you guys got one over there?
Like a comic.
That's awesome.
Hold on, I'll show you. I figure since you're in the graphics now, my buddy Joel, does he have one, or is he just sit? No, really? Where? Okay, yeah, go grab that one. So yeah, it's normally a program book for the event, and I thought, well, why not make it a comic book? So you guys have been cartooned.
Awesome.
Yeah, and have your little bios next to each of the speakers. And it's got a line with an X, so everybody has to get your autographs. So they get all the autographs. Huh?
Does Ben look like the Emperor and I look like Darth Vader?
What?
I didn't know I sent you the copy already.
That was the best response.
So I'm serious, Joel. Okay, did you find it? Oh, denied. I think because we've been. I know they're all out in the studio.
Snyder, man, we should do an episode on Phil Snyder. We keep forgetting. I keep forgetting about that guy.
So
Phil Snyder, is he on here?
He probably sounds insane to you. Ben's reading the comments while the show is going on, and he's reacting to the comments.
We're just used to this on YouTube, right? We're used to reading comments. And
no, I do the same thing. I mean, I spend half the show talking to people, So let's see. Yeah, talking wise, LOLs. Deep is safe here. Okay, sometimes I don't know what they're saying.
Oh,
because we were talking about going.
She said you should definitely go deep. This is a policy.
Oh, no, rabbit hole.
We were talking about how deep we should go.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Now check this out. If they get the VIP pass when they're, you guys. What? Okay. Now. Okay. All right. The audience is. Calm down. It's
He's
funny.
gonna be like, the doctor has arrived.
We're gonna go deep. This won't hurt just a bit. Just give a little pinch.
Oh man.
So, but I will say this at the fireside chat, at the VIP party after a few drinks, there, hey, there's no barriers. Talk about whatever you want. So, and you don't have to use code words either.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: the NSA and CIA will be at the event this year.
We figured so.
I don't know if they'll be there, but I'm setting up a booth for them with a little camera with an NSA CIA stamp on the table. So if they want, I don't want them to feel unwelcomed.
Just have an empty booth and just a gun on the table.
No, we put a Nerf gun on there.
Well, you guys got to. Well, I don't know if you can bring it on the plane. I'm sure we can find you a bunch of Nerf guns here.
But we can bring Nerf guns on the plane. That's fine. We'll just put them on our check-in. No
It sounds like a spoof movie. Nerf guns on a plane. So yeah, let me ask: do you have like a massive? Do you have like a massive arsenal of Nerf guns now?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
What's funny is like last week I went to see my mother, and she was like, "It's so funny how you guys are playing with Nerf guns all the time because you loved Nerf guns when you were a kid. You were the Nerf kid."
And now it's your shtick.
Exactly.
I love it.
Oh man.
I'm actually scared to look over at the comments right
Yeah, the comments are pretty.
They're getting bad over there. Thanks, Paula. Paul, your comment.
I'm going to be laughing my butt off afterwards. I know. I'm going to go through all this. Oh my gosh.
They are pretty funny though.
So, so we're going to do we only have time for one table talk this event, because I want to give everybody enough time to do their things. Schedule. So here's the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. World premiere right now. First time ever. I'm telling anybody. This is how it's going to go down on Saturday, 11:30 to 12 noon. We've got Joel Christopher Payne from Friendlians and Growums. He's the creator. What? 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 Yeah, I already talked about that. Sorry, they're telling me how to do my show. So we got Joel Christopher Payne at 11:30 to 12. We're going to be doing something special with the Friendlians, so the kids will love that. Then 12 to 1:30, Stacy Wright and Jim Mann from Phoenix MUFON. Then 2 to 3, we got Suzanne Ross from the Sci-Spy TV Network. From 3:30 to 5:30, Don Phillips. From 5 to 7, we got Laura Eisenhower. And then from 7 to 8, Table Talk, which you guys will be involved with. And we're going to talk about all this stuff, YouTube and censorship, and just let you guys go wild on that. Then Sunday, we got Dave Loomis from Sholo MUFON. He's doing a whole segment on the history of sci-fi movies and how it's been desensitizing us, soft disclosure, all that, up to today. So that'll be really awesome. And then we got you guys from 1 to 2:30 doing your thing. And then we've got the beautiful Apollo Asteria from 2:30 to 4:30. If you don't remember who she is, she's the girl from Star Trek Picard. Mm-hmm. Then we have from 4:30 to 6, Brad Olsen, who's going to be talking about either South America, Antarctica,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
I told them lean more towards that because that's where everybody's interest is right now.
Yeah.
And then finishing off the event, it's from 6 to 8 p.m. Dr. Brooks Agnew, and he's always got something awesome to talk about. And then we have, of course, in the morning, we're going to do what I mentioned earlier, the experiencers group. And then after that, Sunday, Keslin, Louise Barrett is going to do a session, and that'll be Sunday mornings. So there's a schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also got costume contests. What else? The photo area. You guys are going to have fun with that. I can see everybody doing, yeah. And then there's 2 other things that you're really going to love that both of you have to do at the same time. I'll tell you all about when you get here.
Is it? Okay.
Sure. Whatever you need us to do, it's fine.
Yeah. So
the more humiliating, the better. That's just how we roll.
Yeah. You know that green slime from Nickelodeon?
Oh man, please make sure that that's there. I've literally been waiting my whole life to get slimed.
Why not? Let's see if I can find some. I'll see if maybe we'll after you guys do your thing, we'll finalize it with a slime.
I'm gonna make sure Ben's dressed like me that day. It sounds like he really doesn't want to get slimed, so let's make sure he gets slimed.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's see. Everybody's just shouting out name shouts, and they love you, and let's see. And you definitely go deep. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to read all this later.
Wait, I love this comment from Stephanie Farlow. I got a tooth pulled today, and my dental assistant was a truther who watched Edge of Wonder.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
That is awesome. And then let's see. Tina Farber joined, and Damon Ashcroft. Better late than never. Good thing for replay here on the interwebs. Gentlemen, you guys are awesome. You made the time fly by so fast. I know it's late there.
Oh, wow. It's already 11.
Yeah, I know.
Earlier, you said there was like a couple of questions. Did you ask those questions that you had from somebody or something?
I might have. I thought they were questions, but there was I don't know. You were reading them all. What did you see?
Oh no. Okay, I thought it was from. I didn't realize it was from the chat. I thought you were saying there's 2 questions you had from like previously or something.
Oh gosh, there could have been, but that was 2 pages back in the script. So,
no way.
So yeah, I'm gonna just have to go through it. But if you guys want to see Rob and Ben, get your tickets right now. If you want to have that cool quality time. Get your VIP pass. Go to disclosurecon.com. It's the big red rectangle square. Click on that. Take you right to the ticket.
Yeah, I was actually shocked by your ticket prices. They're really inexpensive, especially for. I mean, the VIP pass is like what, like 150 or something.
Yeah, 175 for the adults. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's well, I mean, eventually I'm going to need more money to make this thing bigger.
mhm.
I would like to maybe one day, once I get all the bugs out of the system, you might say, maybe do one in the city, maybe in Phoenix, maybe in Dallas. Don't know
That's
yet.
awesome.
But there will always be first weekend of October, the original place, which will be here. And it's a small town, not the city where it's really expensive. We have a lot of large families here, so hence why I do my events 12 and under are free.
Mhm.
That way they don't have to pay for babysitters. I want to save people money, but I want them to have a great time.
Yeah.
And
No, that's great.
then if I ever have to raise the prices, they'll be like, it's an extra $5, but he puts on a good show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, and that's great because and I mean that's one thing we were shocked to find out how many kids are actually fans of our show. Like
Oh, yeah.
lots, actually, and I was like blown away by it. Even at Dimensions of Disclosure, there were so many families that were coming up to us saying, "My kid loves your show," and we were like taking photos with the kids and stuff, and I was just like, "Wow, like really?" And they're like, "Yeah." I mean, because I was like, some of the stuff gets really dark, and they're like, honestly, I'd rather have my son or daughter watch what you guys are doing than watching like Sabrina the Witch.
Oh God, yeah, that's so awful. But and I guess parents know. I mean, it's a harder world now. They rather them know the dark side, so they know how to avoid it or not get trapped by it.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we really focus on and trying to bring. No matter how dark and deep that we get, we really try to bring the positive end. I mean, we end on a very positive note and really try to bring the light side.
You do. You wouldn't know how many people that I was subscribed to that I just don't even click on anymore because it's just constant. Tomorrow's the day. This or that. It's like another week and everything collapses.
Yeah.
Like, look, I know it's all going to happen, but does it have to be every week? I mean, I got stuff to do. Come on. I'm trying to put on events here. I can't jump in a bunker every other day.
Seriously.
I mean, I'm a prepper, but come on.
Yeah.
So anyway, oh, wait, hold on. Guess what? I just found.
What?
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
This was actually done. The alien was done. There's the green screen. It's done by.
It's totally green screen.
It's a green alien. Done by Jeff West, who worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a bunch of other stuff, doing the special effects, creating the vortexes one. Anyway, so he did that, and then we have. Let me see. This was a template, so I crossed out some stuff. So, like right here, so we got our advertiser, but wait, there we go. So this is like a microscope. You turn it one way and it goes the other in the lens. So you got your bio and then the X, and then they have to go around and interact with you, right? So they get your autograph, and then we give them a plastic sleeve, put it in. We only have a limited number, so now it's a collector's item.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
So this year's is actually even bigger. I think this was only like 20. The other ones, it's 28 pages, right? 28 and 28, 10, 28. Magical number.
That's cool.
And 8 to 2 equals 10. And I have no idea, but people that's what they tell me. I'm not into numerology, but
I don't know. I don't understand addition either, my friends. I don't know how any of that works.
Oh, and Ben, you have to go to Keslin's meditation thing on Sunday. She wants you there.
Cool. Okay.
Because I know you like to meditate.
Yeah.
It's going and a gong in there. So that's what she said. So there's
good translation.
Gong show. What? Cool gong.
Qigong.
See, that too she's going to cover that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely be there. And Peter Maxwell Slattery, I just saw.
Dude, Peter, what's up, bro?
Yeah, we had him on our show. He's got some crazy experiences with like major UFO stuff and tons of footage. And
he has the craziest footage of UFOs on the planet, hands down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, look, any of those guys, I'd love to have everybody booked for next year. If it'd be cool to have a secondary spot so we have more rooms, but
yeah.
I can't wait for you guys to come up here. You're gonna fall in love with it. I know
Yeah,
you've
that's
had
awesome.
concrete and buildings everywhere. It's gonna be beautiful fresh
Yes.
air.
Speaking of which, if you ever make it over to the concrete jungle, make sure you're here on a Friday so you can be on our live show with us.
Ooh, I've never been to New York.
Oh,
I've been to Buffalo. I opened a bar up there for a guy. But it was on the wharf, and that's all I saw was just the water. Niagara Falls is there, right?
Way up north,
way up
bro.
north.
Yeah.
In New York City.
So I have no concept of New York, you know.
no worries. But yeah, we would love to.
So I'll be safe with you guys, right?
Yeah, you'll be
All
safe.
right, all right.
Okay. You'll be distracted by pizza.
Ooh, okay. Okay. You know, I was in this movie and I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, been there, done it. And they were like, well, what if we give you lines? I was like, I'm cool. I was like, I just want to stay on the mountain like M. Night Shyamalan. I'm in a 10-mile radius.
You're right.
And they're like, well, there's a food fight scene. I was like, where do I sign?
Exactly.
So now I'm in this big movie coming out in November, all because of a food fight scene.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you said pizza. Okay, I'll come to New York. All right.
They've definitely not the Pizzagate kind of pizza. This is like actual New York pizza.
Yeah. And it's so sad that it had to be associated with pizza.
I know.
You know?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, guys.
Did you see that? Like, there's all this climate change going on right now, and John Podesta had a tweet of like the U.S. and it was like a map of the U.S., but it literally looked like a pizza. Like as soon as I saw it, I thought of pizza, and like everybody is commenting on like,
wow.
Why does it look like a pizza?
They're like, hey Skippy, why are you putting pizza?
Wow. I can't wait to talk freely with you guys in person. It's
Awesome.
We can talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, in the famous words of the late great Cary Carpenter, we've only just begun.
That's for sure.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to let you guys go. I know it's late there, and you got a whole bunch. Your week starting up here. Or wait, we're in the middle of the week, right? I have no idea.
I don't even know what day it is. It's been a long.
Hey, I'll try. If I remember, I'll try to do this for you tomorrow. Or not tomorrow because I'll be driving. But when I get to this, it's the International Love Film Festival in Santa Monica. So there should be movie celebrities and all that. I'm going to be doing live feeds. If I remember, I'll do some shout outs for you guys. You guys can steal them. All right.
Thanks so much.
What do you want me to have them say? Like, hi, this is Brad Pitt, and you're watching Edge of Wonder, or what?
Yeah, that'd be
not
weird.
that I'm going to see Brad Pitt. I'm just saying the name.
They are willing to say it. They probably have no idea what it is, but some of them might.
Definitely say that.
All right.
Make all the jokes you want, but your new lease here, it's not gonna last at this rate.
The doc thinks that I should take some time off. I'll find us some new hires in the next couple of days. I'll take care of it.
Have you ever managed people?
No, sir. Can you start tomorrow?
Here? You don't like fire people because they're late, do you?
Can you lift a lot of dishes?
I can pick up Gina. She is heavy, like a bowling ball.
You're going to love your new crew.
Well, that's great. I can't wait to meet them. This is like some kind of joke, right? Some YouTube joke, right? Right? I know I've been weird, but I've been thinking, and if you're willing, I could use your help. All of you.
I was a fool, I knew. I'm too close to the edge, I stood.
He doesn't even know I exist.
Well, that's why you gotta go back there and put the goods right out in front of him.
I mean, was that your plan, Henry? To sabotage us with a few existentialists and misfits because you couldn't have it your way?
When life gets rough, that is when we come together, not just as a little local restaurant, but as a family.
I'm starting new right now. Thank you. I'm starting new right now.
Seize the day for tomorrow. You could
you could possibly die.
It's 1028 live, man. This is bigger than live PD Nation. This is bigger than cops.
All right, there we are. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Doc Skinner with 1028 Live. It is Thursday night, and I have an amazing guest with me. I don't know how I stumbled and lucked into such an amazing opportunity, but I have the war king of the Ga tribe of Ghana, Africa, King Nee, right here. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Doc.
Wow.
It's a pleasure to meet you too.
I mean, thank you. I mean, it's such an honor. We met this past weekend at the Sholo Film Festival, and when I heard someone was flying all the way from Africa, I was just blown away. And then I find out it's you, and I was just like, wow. So, you came up here strictly because of Martina Webster and to support her and the film festival. What do you think? Is big difference from where you're from?
Well, America with films are the leading name when it comes to filmmaking.
Uh-huh.
American film producers and directors are mostly considered the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to learn, some way to understand the film industry and how it works, I think the best person could be an American film producer or a director. And Martina, being somebody in the industry for some years, and knowing her, it's an experience to join her during a film festival here to see how the whole film festival operates. And it was a great experience for me personally. Get to meet young film producers and directors, and I was able to see some of the films that they have come up with, short films and documentary films, and I was impressed, very impressed. And like I said, it's an experience for me in itself, and I'm happy to come to this part of Arizona. What we always have learned of Arizona is the desert
Mm-hmm.
and the heat. But then I got to understand that, well, if you're able to come up here to this direction, 7,000 feet above sea level, and it gets colder here.
Mm-hmm.
But the perception of being that Arizona is more of like a desert and perhaps maybe the same climate like Africa, because we have this beautiful weather all year round. Just the rainy seasons comes through,
Mm-hmm.
but the sun shines almost every day. So people have always believed Arizona is that way, but I've learned something new coming to Pine Top, Lakeside
Yes.
Pine Top. Is an experience and make great people too. At the film festival,
Very nice.
And I mean, you could see the creativity of people sharing their stories of how they came up with some of the scenes and the storylines, and it's very impressive, you know. And it's good to learn from American film producers and directors. Growing up, you know, we've watched the American films, you know, watching Chuck Norris and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these, you know, American um, film legends. And today to be in America to witness, you know, film producers and directors coming up with films, this is a good experience for me, and I'm grateful for Martina and for you too. I met you there, and even though we didn't spend a lot of time, um, you were working, so I got a chance to stop by, to speak to you briefly, and it's been a pleasure.
Yes, and you're such an intriguing man. The stuff that you're, you know, being king of a country and leading your people. You mentioned that your country is known for boxing.
That's right. That's right.
Tell me more about it.
Well, in reality, my kingdom is a legendary founder of the sport known today as boxing.
Really?
Yes, boxing started on African continent with my tribe. You know, we call it Akotoku.
Sorry?
Akotoku. Mean fist fighting.
Ooh.
You know, fist fighting. And in ancient times, warriors of the army practiced that art of fist fighting. So it triggered down centuries later and became known today as boxing.
Wow.
So if you come to Ghana, you know, our area is known to be the heartbeat of African boxing. And my kingdom has produced over 96% of African champions,
wow,
Commonwealth champions, Olympic champions, and world boxing champions, or the whole entire continent of Africa. So it's like a warrior tribe. And boxing, it's something that is embedded in the blood. So I'm also planning to expand more to help the youth, you know, to expand more into the boxing field. Well, boxing is business, and there's always boxing event taking place in the US. So yes, I'm putting together a solid plan for the youth and those already in the field to polish them up and get some partners we can work with, because I don't think any promoter or partner will regret sponsoring, you know, a tough guy boy, you know, from Accra, because we are known to be fighters, and we are still producing champions on the African continent, and it's good to bring it more to America for the kids to fight more, to be known, you know, and to be able to capture some of the titles.
So,
you know.
Are you working with some of the American organizations, or in talks, or considering it?
Yes, we have some people that are into the boxing world that we want to talk to. You know, some time ago, boxing, having a promoter, a lot of boxers didn't do well because the promoters didn't help them. Even in my country, young men have gone to fight outside Ghana and they didn't make too much. You know, most of all the money goes to the promoters and it's not worth it. So it's better to put together a good mechanism so that the kid who goes into the ring is able to get something back, because some of them also have families they have to look after. And boxing is, well, it's a sport, but at the same time, it's business. You could die in the ring.
True.
Boxing is not like American football or maybe soccer or maybe basketball, where it's a teamwork.
But this is
you.
Yes, it's you on your own. It's a
You're
solo sport.
You're on your own, and if you don't have the style to match the opponent, and opponent is a bit tricky and very heavy-handed, well, either you are knocked out or you could get hurt. I mean, it's a very dangerous sport, and so those who go into the ring to fight have to get something back in return. So it's better to put together a good mechanism so that they don't get cheated out of contracts.
That we have things like that in businesses called unions. You know, where they're able to the companies in the sense of a promoter are being held to standards. You can only allowed to take this much of a percentage. The rest must go to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a very smart thing, because if they're getting cheated, they shouldn't be, especially if it's something that they could risk their lives
exactly, your life is
or future medical problems.
Exactly. Many fighters who were in the ring and didn't make money today, to see that they have been affected and no money for medical care, and is not the right way to go. So to really bring some of these young men onto the scene to fight, there got to be a good plan for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
like a 5-year plan, and
exactly
a goal,
to be able to make it, look after themselves. If a time comes they feel they want to step away from the ring, they can, and they can fall back on something.
Yeah, have other skill sets other than boxing. A lot of sports people here in the States, college, high school, all the way up to professional, they have this belief that they're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had it when I was younger. They call it young, dumb, and Superman mode. You think you can do anything. And then they'll blow out their knee, or have a neck injury, or a traumatic brain injury from being hit too many
Unexpected
times.
injuries,
Exactly.
which comes with the sport.
And there should be some type of medical coverage for that. Or you get promoters that are like, I don't care, that's fine, I still got you planned for this fight, you still got to fight. Those are the kind of promoters that you need to get rid of, because they're causing physical harm to these people in exchange for money.
Well,
and so if you
we've seen it over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Promoters have been cheating boxers for all these years, and things have to change.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a bit smarter. You have to get good managers. You have to get people who can negotiate well on your behalf, because boxing is a sport, but it's also a business.
Mm-hmm.
People have died recently. A fighter, died from his injuries in the ring, and I think, being also that it's a brutal sport, I think some rules also have to be adjusted, and the corner of every fighter has to be on alert, including the referee, to be able to know when to stop the fight.
You throw the flag in if
we are not in there to kill people.
No.
And to the young people of my kingdom who we are embedded with boxing, and to everybody around the world who is a fighter, a boxer, they have to live after boxing. And it's not means of getting into the ring to kill each other. It's to go out there to outpoint your opponent. Maybe there could be some heavy shots, maybe to knock your opponent out. But if the opponent goes down quickly, the corner have to decide and to be talking with the referee to even throw the flag, or the
call it
towel.
a TKO or something.
Exactly, throwing the towel so that the person can recover and go back, recover more, get back to training,
and then fight another day. Fight another day.
Exactly. But the way sometimes now people are falling into coma, the whole thing is like, well, people are really getting into the ring either to kill each other. That hasn't been the way boxing was. So I think they should try, and also depend on the fighter's corner and their coaches, the technical men,
training,
the doctors. They should be alert that maybe the fighter may be a good fighter, but maybe in the ring he just got caught, with a blind shot,
caught off guard,
and maybe he could beat the opponent, but because of that shot, he's gone down, he's blacked out, and the fight should be cut off, and life goes on, so that he can go back, recover, train back, and come back again, and perhaps he comes back and bounce back better. We've seen that in sports, in boxing, where fighters were knocked out, the fight was stopped, they went, spent a couple of months, came back to training, and came back to win titles. So this is a concern that we also have to look at.
Yeah,
it's a brutal sport sometimes.
It is, but finding that line and knowing when to call it.
And most of fighters now retire or maybe are injured, and they come back and they have nothing to live on.
Right.
That's a sad part of it too.
Because that's their life. They've devoted themselves to it. And I try to always to encourage people to always have multiple skill sets. My father was a pilot all his life. I was supposed to be a pilot. Didn't work out.
What happened?
I went to military school
Okay.
for a year, and I was like, no, I'm going to entertain people instead.
Okay.
But where were we going with that? Where were we going with that? I got thrown off of the military school.
You're talking about people have to have multiple skills.
Oh, yes. So my father and I had a discussion one day, and he goes, because I was always doing different things. You need to stick with something. It's like, Dad, something happens, you get in a car wreck, you lose your leg. What are you going to do? You can't fly. They're not going to let you. And it made him think. I was like, I can do this, I can do that, and that, and this, and this. A whole plethora of things to fall back on. And that's very important. But I have friends that are in the professional sports industry, and they're miserable. One of my friends, he took his own life because of the amount of head injuries. It's just too much. All the pain, the traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's a real thing. And it's just devastating.
Yeah.
And so there's maybe set up or there should be some type of programs for people in the boxing industry that can teach them computer skills or building skills, something as a backup, so for that reason. And some type of lesson to teach them, hey, you are a great fighter, you've dedicated yourself, but you need to accept the reality of the possibility
exactly
that this could happen.
Exactly.
How you can take care of your family. It's just like an insurance policy, having something to fall back on. So having programs like that, would be awesome to let them know that they're not just being thrown in the ring for a promoter to make money. That there are people there. That's kind of like that union thing I was talking about.
That's right.
Others supporting each other, so that they can go on to fight another day. So, well, that's awesome that it stemmed from your kingdom.
That's right. Yeah. We're gonna make a big documentary about that,
and hence why you've been here researching.
Exactly, to look at the film industry, and maybe we could do a docudrama and perhaps a documentary on the origin of boxing. And there's other things that comes from my kingdom that we can look at.
Well, did you happen to see El Viejo, the boxing documentary that was at the film festival?
I did.
About the gentleman from the Mesa, Arizona?
Yeah. We met, and I think I went in to see. Maybe I was late because I was viewing another.
I was kind of thinking that now that I know about boxing.
Yeah, I was watching another film, and I really couldn't. So when I got in there, it was almost, but I got in touch with him. He was very happy to meet with me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he gave me his contact, that if anything, I can reach out to him or we can link up.
Nice.
If there's any way that he also can visit my kingdom to work with martial arts training, and he was very open to work in the near future because what he does and what my kingdom also does.
It coincides with what you both. I mean, he's working with he's a high school boxing instructor, wrestling instructor. Sorry, and his students felt that, he makes mention that they felt they wouldn't have the opportunities those big stars have, and he wanted to show them.
Well, I'm happy he's doing that because for a young kid, you don't have to think that you can make it. When you have that mindset, it's not going to work for you. You have to think that positively, that I can do it. Well, there'll be some people who might tell you that you're not going to make it.
No, they are out there.
I know Larry Holmes, the former heavyweight champion. I know him very well, and I'm planning to honor him very soon, alongside his mentor Muhammad Ali, to talk about boxing and how legends of America like Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali, to tell their stories. And the story of Larry Holmes is like when he got into boxing and started training boxing, nobody believed in him. And the only person who believed in him was his trainer. And he had a chance one day to be taken to the camp of Muhammad Ali. And apparently Ali didn't have anybody to train with, to spar with. And Ali said, look, join me so that we can be able to spar. He was like, nah, you're going to give me a black eye. I said, no, come. Some 3-rounder. And he did well. And eventually, he started to train with Muhammad Ali and became a sparring partner.
Wow.
And Ali also was helping him to learn the art of boxing. And Larry Holmes turned professional, started fighting, and there were people who always told him he wasn't going to make it.
Wow.
And he fought almost 27 fights, perhaps without a loss. And I think he had a fight with Ernie Shavers. And Ernie Shavers was one of the hardest hitting fighters in boxing history. He's a very hard hitting fighter. And if he's able to win against Ernie Shavers, he get a chance at the heavyweight title. And people told him that, look, Larry, you're going to get knocked out. The same critics, who keep telling him you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it. Well, according to Larry Holmes himself, on a plane to Las Vegas, people begged him on the plane that you are going to get knocked out. He went in there confidently because he believed that he has to work hard to achieve something, to become a better person, and to be able to be financially stable to look after his family. Because he dropped out of school, ninth grade, or I think seventh grade, or seventh grade or something, because he had to be a man to begin work. So boxing was the only way. So he went into the fight with Ernie Shavers and he outclassed Ernie Shavers. And now here is this guy who have told people that someday, I'll become heavyweight champion. And people said, no, you'll never make it. Now here he is. He's now the number one WBC contender to the heavyweight title. And the same critics keep coming out to say, oh, Larry, you're not going to make it. Ernie Shavers is not Ken Norton. So it's like trying to kill the dream. But he didn't listen to them. He went in confidently that he wanted to someday become heavyweight champion. And people have told him that, oh, well, you are not Muhammad Ali too. But then he fought, Ken Norton, which is one of the most beautiful fights in history. And at the end of the 14th round and into the 15th round, Larry Holmes and Ken Norton were dead even on all three judges' scorecard. And the 15th round of Larry Holmes Ken Norton is believed to be the best round in boxing history.
Wow.
And it is. And they stood toe to toe. And when the scores came out, Larry Holmes, by a point, won against Ken Norton to become heavyweight champion.
Wow.
So there are the youth of today who have to learn that whatever God-given talent that you have to be able to work on it. And you may tell people around you that, look, I'm going to be this person. There are people who will dump your spirit and just tell you, you're not going to make it. And if you're going to listen to them, you'll never make it.
Right.
But in reality, you can make it. So the youth always have to understand that whatever that they have that inspires them in life, they have to be able to focus on that, work hard, dedicate time, hard work, and be committed to whatever they want to do. And eventually, with maybe good trainers and good guide, they can make it. So that's my advice to the youth. They always have to believe in themselves, that whatever that is ahead of them, they can do it. They watch basketball, they watch football, they watch baseball. All these stars who are playing baseball, basketball, and all these sports inspired to be that, some years ago. And they continue working at that.
They put the training in.
Exactly. And eventually, you are sitting back watching them on TV. So meaning you can also get there if you're able to put your heart and your mind to it and understand that nothing comes easy.
Right.
You can't cut corners. You have to work hard. You have to train hard. You can cut corners. And eventually you could also be there. And there are others who will look at you, kids who will look at you as an inspiration to become like you. Yeah. And if they also will believe in themselves, and maybe you also will tell your story of how you focused in life and focused on your goal and your dreams, and now here you are. They also can take some clue, from your life, and they also become somebody. And we continue with that, and we can have role models and stars that the youth can look, upon them.
Yeah, because look, these kids, when they look up to all these people, no matter what they are, they aren't seeing. They're seeing what's on camera. They're seeing what's on the news. They're not seeing all the hard work that's put into it. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the agonizing nights. Making
But
sure it all
parents,
works out.
it's also depend on parents.
Yeah.
Parents also have to support the kids. Kids of today have special talents, different talents, but also depend on the parents. The parents have to be there for the kids, identify all these skills. If you're a parent and you study your child, it's easy for you to identify a skill
of where they're leading to.
Exactly, you should be, and
then you can help guide them on that
exactly
journey.
guide them, be there for them, encourage them. When people out there tell them you can't make it, you on the inside, who's the mother or the father, say, hey, keep working at it, you're gonna make it. You take the kid to a baseball game, maybe he was struck out, he's down, you come back home, maybe he's not even home, even in a car, coming home, say, look, buddy, it's gonna be well, you have a game, tomorrow, and work hard, you're gonna hit. Sometimes kids easily get their spirit damped when things doesn't go well. They think they failed, but it's an opportunity for parents especially to step in, give them that support. That, hey, no, you're gonna make it. Hey, better day tomorrow. Don't worry about anything. It's not every day that you can have a good day, but work at what you are doing, you'll be fine.
You know who Nikola Tesla was? The guy that created the light bulb.
Nikola Tesla,
And he had haters, as we call them, or trolls, the people that are negative. The press asked him after the light bulb was made, oh, and we've got some people that we have to say hello to in a minute. Just so you know, I've been listening. I haven't been paying attention to the screen. What was I saying? The
Nikola Tesla.
Yes, when he was being interviewed, one of the antagonists and reporters was like, well, Mr. Tesla, how does it feel to know that you had to fail 1,000 times before you got it right? And he goes, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to invent the light bulb. That was a good attitude. That's, I believe in that.
People always want to bring you down.
Yes.
People do. It's everywhere. People sometimes, I don't know, but people have different skills and talents. And anybody can become whatever they want to become. It depends on the person. Maybe they don't want to work hard on what they want to become. That's their problem. But if each and every individual, if you put your mind to something,
make that choice.
You make the choice. You get a good guy. You get parents supporting you growing up. You get there. And look at all these stars we have today. They came from the same community baseball team and township baseball team or basketball teams, and then into middle school, and then into junior high school, and then into high school.
They pay their dues.
Exactly. And then into college, and they continue playing, and then now they are being drafted into the NBA. So you have to continue, and parental support is key, very, very key to the success of every young man or woman who has a dream that they want to pursue in life.
Correct. Well, can we say hello to some people that are watching?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that real quick and see who all's here. Got a lot going on here. We've got Aaron, Julia, Jessica, Barb, Sandy, and Navina, Cheryl, Bri, sorry. Jason Ryan says hi from Colorado. David Gilliam.
Hello, Jason.
Yep. Donnie, Kellyanne, Johnny, Josie, a lot of J's there. Amber, Samantha, Chris Bennett, famous comedian from LA, lives up here now.
Okay.
Tammy, Lynn, Mike. Tammy says, what's up? Brian, Patty, Tyler, how's it going, man? Amanda, let's see. Agu hello in Twi, a language of Ghana. Do you know anything about that?
Tree.
Oh, tree.
Tree.
Tree. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, I guess knows some of your language.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's cool.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
You got a golden star today. Ashley, Emily Infinity. She's the one I don't know if I mentioned to. She went to Antarctica with Brad Olsen, and I'm working on their series right now, doing the editing. Amanda says she met you Monday night at work, and you were very, very nice. Dee has joined. Of course, Martina is watching right now.
Oh, okay.
We both know Martina. She says, "Hey guys." Gwendolyn, Jennifer. Gwendolyn says hello to both of you. Devin has joined. Grant has joined. And he talks about, he also has traumatic brain injury, and he has a podcast called TBI, Traumatic Brain Injury Radio, or something like that. Let's see. Alfredo, Steve, Mark. Martina says, looking forward to making the documentary. Gwendolyn says, his accent is amazing. Mark Headley says, I want to produce it. Mark Headley, IMDb. So you might have another producer. I don't know. Who knows? Anything's possible. Why? And of course, Martina jumps in and contact me right away. So that's cool. Joel Christopher Payne, he's Disney's one of the top artists for Disney.
Really?
And he's a creator of Friendlians, which is a cartoon series for children to help them, learn to be good.
That's right.
And I actually got to be a cartoon character in one of the episodes, and I'll play it for you after the show.
Okay.
Because it was exactly what you're talking about. I wanted to say something, but I'll show it to you a little bit later. David has joined. Gwendolyn says, wise words. All hard times are only temporary if you keep pushing forward, but hard times can last forever if you give up.
That's right.
Someone said, if you're, it was Shia LaBeouf. He said, if you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. That's the key. And when you're young, you're like, I don't want to do it. And you quit. And then you quit another thing. And you quit another thing. The trick is to not quit, bear with it, deal with the heartache at times because it will benefit in the long run. Then we got Alice. We got David Dennis from Australia says good day from Australia.
Good day.
Elise, Xavier says, you rock, dude. Jessica Stevens, of course, you know who that is. She's joined or has been on. Grant gave a link to his podcast. And Jessica says, good evening, King Nee and Doc Skinner. So yes, we've got some people that have jumped on live. And while I got all of your guys' attention, I just want to do something really, really quick. And we talked about this. Yeah, because this is really cool. We're going to go out and play with this in a minute. All right. Tonight is the big announcement for my new sponsor, who will probably be my sponsor forever and ever because this is just too freaking cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Psionics. This is it right here. And this is first full color night vision scope and camera. And you can shoot up to 60 frames per second in 720. It shoots full night, twilight, and day. So you can use it as a regular video camera and record onto your SD card. And this is the Aurora Sport. This one is just awesome. And all you have to do is go to psionics.com. And where did I put that page? It's just go to SIONYX. And it's right there. And all you have to do if you want a discount on this, type in 1028 live, 1028 live into the promo code on their website, and you will get a discount on this bad boy. They retail online for $3.99 right now. This thing's awesome. You can mount it to a tripod or a rifle. It can be used for security. I've got movie theater owners that are looking at it. I got security teams at casinos looking at it. So this thing is awesome. When you look through it, and you're going to see this after the show, sir, instead of just seeing twinkly lights that are all green or all just white, it's full colors. It's like Christmas lights, and the planets are huge. This is probably one of the coolest darn inventions I've ever had the opportunity, and they are our sponsor. So go to psionics.com, check out the different models. You have the Sports Aurora, you've got the Aurora, and then you have a super duper kit with a Pelican case. I think it's an infrared flashlight to light up the area that you're checking out. But full color, folks, full color. No joke. I'm putting together a commercial so you guys can see footage that I will shoot with this and put together. It will blow you away. Go to Psionics, check it out, and there's footage on that site to show you the quality of this. Maybe one day eventually become 1080, but right now it's 720 because it is new technology. But right now, psionics.com, type in 1028 live as your promo code, and yeah. So thank you very much to Psionics for allowing, being my sponsor. This is just so cool. You're gonna have so much fun with this. All right. So let's see. Do we have any more questions? Cheryl says you'll never see the stars the same again. It's so true. She got to look through it the other day or other night. Anyway, so back to you. Sorry I had to get all that, pay the bills and all that stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Live commercial like they used to do back in the day. So you're going back tomorrow or this weekend?
That's right.
And what kind of things are you going to tell them when you get back?
Well, honestly, I've met great people, and when you meet somebody as a human being, or you meet people, well, you can decide how the people treat you, not as the person I am, but honestly, the people around here, from Martina herself and the husband, the family, and the people around her meeting you, it's a wonderful people I've ever met.
Thank you.
Honestly, I went to high school here, I went to college here, and I'm always grateful to my American friends, especially my American teachers who taught me in high school and in college, because I always believe that they've contributed to what I have become today. So you always have to look back to say thank you to the people who made you. And I'm always grateful to my American teachers and friends, those who made me felt at home because I was very far away from home. And for my first time coming to Arizona and coming around to meet Martina, well, the people around her, the team who organized the film festival, um, and people who came from everywhere to be partake were wonderful. People with great talents and ideas and very creative and very down to earth. Nobody was trying to outdo anybody, and people dealt with people on level basis. And I was able to pick that. As an outsider looking on the inside, I was able to see the humility, in most of the people I've met, and it's great.
We try to be different. We want to, instead of clawing our way up. I've said this a million times. I know you guys hear this a lot, but telling him, a lot of people will claw their way up to the top, and it's usually crawling over somebody. And what we're trying to do is bring people together that want to uplift each other and rise together.
That's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed
It
to be.
should. Somewhere along the way, society got lost.
Yeah, but we still have to be able to hold on to each other. Wherever that good people can converge, those very people have to hold on to each other, because in holding on to each other, you could be able to move on with life and bring about a change, in society based on the way you guys are able to, comport yourself, support each other, and then move on in a positive light.
Yeah. Something that's positive for the world.
That's right.
Not adding negativity.
Exactly. So I did meet great people here. I'm very happy. It's an experience, something I will cherish for the rest of my life. And I believe that I'll be back again because I'm looking forward to learning more and maybe coming up with some projects that I may need some expertise, to be able to assist me. So yes, it may not be the last time. And for the good people that you all have displayed to me, yes, it's a must that I have to come back to.
Fantastic.
Always joining with events that may take place here. So become like a family. And it's also give the opportunity also to introduce my culture, so that we can have some cultural exchange ideas that we can put out there. And I believe it's going to be a success.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, I know you have other meetings and dinner plans, but I am so honored, and you're so humble. You didn't have to come in with no entourage or anything.
I always make this point, and those who know me are sometimes surprised by the way I carry myself. But I always say this, and I always say that because I'm not afraid of anybody. Royalty, kings, queens, and leaders of the world that have come before and now, most of the time I will speak in the position of like being royalty. If you are put on a throne as a leader, you are put there to be a guide to your people, but most importantly, to serve the people. Even though you are perhaps a king sitting on a throne, you have to be able to open your heart, humble yourself, and be able to really meet the people that you're overseeing, because they may have so many things that they may even like to share with you, that when you implement it, it makes your reign great, because there are so many things you never know. And the people you expect to go on the ground to come back with information may not come back every day with 100% accurate information. So sometimes you have to, climb down from that throne. It's there, it's yours. Nobody's going to take it. But you have to be able to get amongst your people, talk to them, see how they feel. Perhaps they think they may not have the opportunity to meet you one on one, but it's up to you to make it possible.
Yeah.
And they cherish it when they're able to meet their royal leader who has come to talk to them, see what is going on in the community, problems that they are facing, issues of social concern that must be dealt with. So sometimes you have to descend down to the people and be a serving king. That's what I believe. You have to be a serving king. And I think the problem that has happened over the years and over the centuries, which has failed the people on the ground, is that those that are put on thrones that are supposed to serve the people think the people should serve them.
Yeah, wrong. But that's how it's been throughout generations.
And that has been the problem.
Yeah.
So it's not working. But I think we all have to come together, feel free, enjoy each other, go amongst the people. And it's there that you learn more. It's your people. You learn more. You even get more intelligence on the ground from an average human being. And perhaps people you trust may not even come and give you such an intelligence on the ground.
Yeah.
But going on the ground and meeting the average human being, you bind with them and you bond with them. And you see what is really wrong with them on the ground. So that when you go back and you're alone in your chamber sleeping or in your bedroom, because you also want to bring about a change in your community and your people, you look back of what the people shared with you. So now you know the direction you have to move, so that you become more proactive. And maybe if you have to delegate people to go to the ground and help and assist them, now you can start to do that on a serious scale, because now you've heard it for yourself. But if you stay on the top and you don't get down, how do you know what is wrong with your people?
Right.
So then there's no connection.
Man.
But there always has to be a connection. And the connection that has to be from people who are in between, like let's say go between you, the royal leader, and the people. Sometimes you have to go on the ground and for them to feel you, shake your hand, hug you, sit down with them, talk about life, talk about how the community is, coming up along, challenges. It's always there. There's so many challenges. And the people who live in those communities are the people who can tell you. So that even you also can have a clear idea of what you can do to help them. But if you don't come down, the people are on the ground, things are not going well, they are suffering, they can't get their message across, then what's almost
and resentment.
Then resentment. So if it doesn't make the reality like attractive, because you're not in touch with the people. And I think my style is different. I believe I can be able to serve if I have to, listen to what people have to say. And because of that, and for how I also pick my intelligence on the ground amongst the people, people are suffering.
Yeah.
So I'm also doing my best with partners that can help on the ground because I know what is wrong with the people. Kids have to go to school, and there are some kids that are very bright, very
They just don't
intelligent.
have the opportunity because they have to stay home.
They have to stay home,
Or go
and
work,
the
you know.
mom, the dad doesn't have enough to send them to school every day, maybe to even get the kid some snacks to take to school. So the kid is home, and this kid is maybe a straight A student. But when you get to know all this, you get to know that, well, the kid is a victim of a situation where maybe the parents doesn't have enough to push him or her through school. Once I see that, then I know I have to push this kid because I can't let all this knowledge go waste.
Yeah.
This kid someday will become somebody in society. So then perhaps I can use my own pocket money to be sponsoring this kid to go to school every day.
Right.
Even kids who are orphans, who doesn't have fathers and mothers, also have talent in them. They were born with talent. And even though they are orphans, if they are really looked after and sponsored well to go to school and be able to go through the system as normal kids and to get a chance through high school into college,
They could cure the next disease.
They are
Or
potential
the next
doctors,
invention or something.
engineers, pilots, accountants, athletes, because they have it in them. But if they don't get the support, because they are orphans, so because they don't have mothers and fathers, we should leave them for them to rot. No.
And they don't have the what's the word? It's confidence. They don't have the confidence that they can do it.
We have to change the style of how royalty works.
Right.
It has to work in partnership with the people, and there's so many people who need help on the ground.
Yeah.
And if you don't get to the ground, you never know. So I do have come up with different initiatives to bring about changes in the lives of the people directly.
That's fantastic.
Because we do have the politicians who always come that they want to do something, but the more they give the promises, they are elected into offices, and the people's life are the same. But it has come a time that we all have to hit the ground and be able to help and bring in social intervention programs, um, bring up more schools and vocational centers. There are some kids are not perhaps destined to become scientists or engineers. There are kids who can just deal with electronics at a very young age. And once you're able to discover that, you just put the kid in a vocational training center where they can be able to improve on that. Because if you look at Asia, China, Japan, Korea, they go to school, but in a way, they are put into things that they can do. And today, they are building television, computers, and so many things in electronics.
Right.
Ask yourself, how much school did they go? Does all of them have college degrees or university degrees? I don't think so. But the talent in them is identified early. So kids 15, 16 years old are creating electronics, laptops, phones, and TVs at a very young age.
Right.
So all of us also have to be able to identify that also in kids. You may be forcing the kid to go through college, and maybe that's not his gift. He can do well in the technical field of maybe electronics or maybe construction or maybe a draftsman or something that somebody who can be a builder of maybe high-rise buildings. Just that he needs some small education, but the rest has to be taught to him or her in a vocational training center. So we have to be able to identify the talents and be able to help. So leaders always have to be able to bring themselves down to the level of the people to be able to, get the feeling of how the people feel.
Feel the pulse of the people.
You have to feel the pain. If they are in pain, you also have to feel the pain, so that when you come back and you're in your room, you know you have to do something to just change their lives.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
Because so many leaders are disconnected.
Discrimination has been there for a long time, and it has to change. The people are there. The people will cooperate. The people will be. People see their leaders and they are happy. They cheer leaders on, and he has to tell you that the people love you. So the best thing is you have to open your heart more to them and be more engaged more with them. And in that way, they know they have some closeness with you. And that alone can bring about a positive connection between yourself and your people. And that alone also can bring other things that can also reflect positively in the community.
Yeah.
Because there's a good connection between the top and the people on the ground. And that's something that I'm practicing on the ground, and I'm not going to stop.
Well, you just keep going. Just keep doing that. That is so admirable. Yeah, I am just thank you for being in my presence. It's just awesome. Now, I know you still have, like I said, you have a dinner date, which is probably in a few minutes. I want to say thank you so much for coming into, as you see, my spaceship, and being on my show and chatting with us about what you're doing. I really want to go to Africa now just to visit you.
Well, since I'm up here and I've met all of you, it's also good to also put something together where there could be an opportunity that you also can visit.
Yeah, I would love to
And
see your country.
I can put some program up so that I can also bring you guys down to see the culture, the people, and to also bring some stories back.
Right.
So
Or some footage too.
Like footage.
You know, I'll
that's what
be
I mean.
filming.
Footage, and many beautiful things that I don't want to say now, but in the near future,
In the coming
we'll put
future.
some programs together.
Fantastic. Well, sir, it was an honor to have you on my
It's
show.
a pleasure, Doc.
And,
it's a pleasure.
on my mountain.
My first visit, I've got a chance to see you and spend some time, even now.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure myself, and I'm grateful.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for your time too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this up because he's got places to go. Thank you so much for joining us. I would like to say hello to everybody that joined in last minute. Dave says, such a lovely, refreshing attitude and such a gentle energy. King Nee, a true leader.
Thank you so much,
That's
Dave.
David. Shay, Brandy, Sandra, Ashley, Albert, Timothy, thank you for joining on. Thank you. Wow, what a great show. I will be putting this up on YouTube tonight. It'll probably take a few hours, but it will be up there. And I will be making a transition over to YouTube in November. And November 1st, we will have the movie premiere of The Turnover in Van Nuys, California. So look forward to those live feeds. November 5th, we got John D'Souza on the show, former FBI and inspiration for The X-Files. Other than that, Lodge Party is tomorrow night. Oh my gosh, I got to put my costume on. The Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top, Arizona, 857 East White Mountain Boulevard. Be there early. They're giving away $3,000 cash. So wear your best costume, and I will see you there. I'll be the rock star in the DJ booth. Other than that, thank you so much. And thank you again, King Nee. I will talk to you all probably this weekend, or if anything, by next week, Lord willing. Good night, everybody. I'm going to hit the end button. And ciao, bella.